1. And hello, the Archives fans. Welcome to another day of games here at the Archives Spring Split. We got a good one coming for you, okay? This is an important one, all right? This is an important one, right? These guys are in an elimination match tonight, so um, it's like a winner takes all kind of vibe here. A lot of pressure on both teams. Both teams, I gotta change my title. I think you're wrong. Why would I change my title? Anyway, sorry, I got interrupted there. Someone posted in the chat that I needed to change my title. I don't believe them because the title's already changed. It's probably a troll. I don't know. Does it say Purple Caster versus Jenny Mod? I don't think that it does. On my screen, it says
Uh,
Diagon's My Try versus Eclipse
yeah,
AES.
Kazakura, you got to refresh. Just close it out, go back in. I promise it'll fix itself.
Must be,
That's what I
must
had to
be.
do as well.
Yeah, it must be a Twitch bug. I don't know. Anyways, guys, as you know, I'm Mr. Monstar. I'm here with Nemo today. Those of you who tuned in yesterday got to hear Nemo for the first time on a cast here. We're super excited to have Nemo casting with us. I think he duoed with Pike yesterday. They had some crazy chemistry going on. So I'm super excited to have Nemo here with me. Nemo, what's up, man?
Not much. Doing good. Excited to watch an elimination game for the. Believe outside of the lower division, this is the first elimination game that we've seen. So I'm ready for that. Ready.
Yeah, me too, me too. And for those of you who don't know, this is the middle division playoffs here. We're in the losers bracket side of it. Both these teams have lost one round so far in the playoffs. Unfortunately, I don't know why they named it Tiger and Tiger. I don't know if they're fixing that or what's happening here. But the two team names are Diagon's Must Try and Eclipse AES, which stands for Andromeda Esports, which is the obviously the org they're representing. Um, but we have Eclipse and we have Diagon's Might Try here. I'm not sure which is on which side. It looks like Eclipse is going to be on the blue side and Diagon's is going to be on the red side based on that name change to Squirtle right there. Um, Squirtle being the captain for Eclipse AES. But give them just a moment. I'm not sure what's going on. I thought the draft was going to start shortly, but it looks like the players are still crowding into the lobby. So Nemo, I know you and I both play in the lower division, but tell me, I mean, do you know anything about these teams? I know a little bit about Diagon's only because Tiger is on that team, and I know a little bit about Tiger. But do you know anything about these teams at all?
Yeah. So let me take you through this a little bit. So they've actually played. They played in week 2. It was a 2-0 in the favor of Eclipse. Diagon's had a little, rocky start. That's why they're coming in at the 8th seed. But there is a little bit of hope for Diagons, and that comes in the name of their mid laner. I believe his name it's something Eric. I don't remember what the first part is, but he's been playing really well all season. If we're going to see an upset of Diagons over Eclipse, it's going to come through their mid jungle synergy. While on the other side, Eclipse has been kind of dominating through bot lane. I mean, they've kind of been dominating in general, but they've been playing through their bot lane. The last time these two teams played, it was essentially Eric in mid lane versus the bot lane of Eclipse, who were both kind of just going crazy, fragging out all the usual stuff. In the round 1 of the playoffs matchup, Eclipse had a very bloody game versus Yumi's Doms, and it was about 70 kills in each game. So so I think that we might be looking for a pretty fun to watch game coming out of these two teams because you got Eclipse who is the favorite. They've already shown that they want to fight. They want to show, hey, we're better than you. We're gonna fight you. We're gonna win these fights. While on the other side, Diagon's has been struggling a little bit. They found a little bit of synergy in the mid jungle, but they also have nothing to lose. You've got the 8th seed, the lowest ranked team in the playoffs on the loser side of the bracket, looking to make a miracle run. And I'm excited to see how they kind of maneuver since they have already seen each other. They've already played against each other and see where the changes come in. And if there could potentially be an upset coming out on the side of not Eclipse, but Diagons.
Yeah, and for those of you who are watching my screen right now, disregard this draft. It's going to be remade. Apparently, something happened to one of the players. I am just waiting on the new draft link, and we will. Oh, here we go. Is this the new draft link? Yes, yes, this is the new draft link. Okay, look, and they're even fixing the names for us. What a bunch of nice people, man. They a bunch of nice people. Uh, Diagon's may try. Oh, what did I say? Did I say might try? It's may try. I don't know. Could be might, could be
I think
may.
I also said might try.
Um,
Think we got a
uh,
little mix up there, but that's fine. It's fine.
yeah. So anyway, Nemo, great retelling of kind of their stories. Transparently, like I'm just gonna be real with everyone watching, be real with myself. If we're gonna do channel points on this one, put your channel points on Eclipse. I'm just throwing that out there to you. Okay, all right. I'm just saying. Um, I think Eclipse is a pretty good team, and Diagon's while getting better and better as the season progresses. I have to say that I think Eclipse is a pretty big favorite here, just based on what I know about both teams and the histories and kind of how the seasons played out. Um, uh, well, unfortunately, Tiger isn't playing tonight, Bear, so it doesn't matter which team you throw it on. I think he is busy tonight, so um, unless you're just throwing his whole team under the bus, if you're throwing his whole team under the bus, that's one thing, but we may not need to do that. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, if we're taking a look at it objectively, I would agree with you. Eclipse should beat Diagons, but there's something to be said for a lower seed trying to make an underdog run. And the thing is with Eclipse, with teams who like fighting a lot, teams who love putting themselves out there, we saw it last night in the upper division. I believe it was Akasha had a lead. They just kept fighting, and let K5 hang around. They were going 3 for 2, 2 for 3 every team fight, and that gives you the opportunity to be surprised, to be upset. Not in the way that the Diagons lost their round one matchup, where it was kind of just like from the beginning leads were built. It was just real clean game. Coming out of, I believe, who was it that beat Diagons in round one? It was the big backs. Yeah, the big backs. They had a real clean game, and so I think maybe I'm just trying to make people lose channel points here, but I think Diagons might have a chance here, and it'll be a battle of two teams where I like both of their names. So I really don't want to root against Diagons, but Eclipse is also a pretty cool name as well.
well, one thing to note for both of these teams is Diagon's does have an E sub jungler, so they have, of course, Tiger, who I think plays jungle for them. Normally is not available today, so um, yeah, I believe
Yeah, it
that.
was right, Tiger.
Yeah, Tiger. Yeah. He's not available today, so I believe their sub is FTQVV, whatever that
Oh,
means. But it looks like the draft is starting, so let's go ahead and make sure this is pulled up. Sure, and the first ban off the board is Nafiri.
yeah. I mean, I don't mind a Nefiri ban. Nefiri is super annoying, and she's in a pretty good spot right now. If you want to take someone away that's just annoying, the Nefiri is always a good pick, as well as the Smolder on the other side. I think you were watching the upper games. I think Smolder was picked in every single time he was up, and that team won every game except for one where the enemy team picked Callista Renata, lost lane to the Smolder, and somehow 45-minute game Smolder lost. But we move. And it looks like on the side of Diagons, they're kind of focusing on that bot lane like we talked about from Eclipse. They're trying to keep picks away from the Eclipse bot lane, which is where they beat them last time. There was an Ashe Seraphine. That's something I would kind of be looking at, maybe getting rid of an Ashe. But on the other side, it just looks like target bans from Eclipse towards Diagons.
Yeah, I'm actually. I mean, the Smolder ban. I think after the last couple of days, the last couple of games we've watched, guys, you got to ban Smolder. I guess it's just you just have to right now. But I'm interested in the Janna ban. That seems interesting. Haven't seen that in a while.
It's got to be some kind of a target ban. I mean, we saw Janna get played yesterday, I believe. Or yeah, no, it was yesterday. Janna did get played. So maybe that's just a target ban or something that Diagons are planning on playing a dive comp, and they don't want the Janna there for the disengage. But on the other side of Eclipse, we see the immediate Jinx lock in. And we were talking about their bot lane, how good their bot lane is, how much their ADC has been carrying. So I mean, I gotta love a Jinx pick if Smolder's out.
Yeah, I mean, Jinx, is kind of just a well, I don't want to say slightly weaker version, but it's pretty much weaker because Smolder is insane right now. But it's the same concept, right? You want to play slow in the early game, even in the mid game. You don't want to kind of ramp things up until you get to maybe that third item. But once you hit that stride at your third and fourth item, Jinx, Smolder, those champions, they go absolutely crazy. And of course, we have the counter lock in on the bot lane of Ashe Seraphine, which we know is a fantastic combination.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. Seraphine, I mean, Ashe in general is just in a really good spot with her slow. If she hits one auto on you, you will just get ran down. Obviously, she has the ult, so she's great for utility. She's got Hawk Shot, so you can track the enemy jungler. And not even to mention, Seraphine on the other side is, in my opinion, probably one of the most oppressive support laners at the moment out of the Enchanter. She does so much damage whenever she gets her enhanced abilities where hits you double, and it makes it pretty gonna make it pretty annoying for this Jinx to try and farm if Diagons plays it correctly. But on the other side, we see a Zac and actually a Xerath, which was picked by Eclipse against Diagons the last time they played. And I'm not even gonna lie to you, Nightmare had a great game on it. So I don't really know about the Zac pick too much. I don't know if that's gonna be top jungle. Maybe we might even see a Zac support. I can't throw it out there, but I mean, so far both sides are looking pretty good. Eclipse kind of getting a throwback towards what they had last time, while Diagon's just picking tried and true Ash Seraphine. Can't really go wrong with it.
Oh, the Garen lock-in, dude, that's so awesome. For those of you who know a little bit about me or don't know a little bit about me, the time when I really played this game seriously was like 2009 when the open beta was here to like 2013, 14, that in that range. So Garen being, one of my OGs from back in the day, I'm always excited when Garen gets locked in. For me, one of the most fun champions in the game. I'm interested to see the counter that comes in for the Garen because obviously locking in Garen this early, there's a little rascal with a mushroom habit that's is incredibly annoying when you play Garen. So I'm curious if we get an opportunity to see that little guy.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing. I mean, to be honest, it could be a mid lane Garen. We don't know. But if you're picking Garen top, and then we're going to see what the second ban is from Diagons. But if you're picking Garen top and not giving him any kind of protection ban, I think it could be a little questionable. But also, if your top laner just wants to play Garen and he's like, yeah, I'm locking in Garen. Yeah, we don't. We see three kind of disengage enchanter bans coming from the Janna, Lulu, Milio. I mean, we said the bot lane was the target that Eclipse has been kind of running through teams with. Diagon said, "You know what? We are going to put all 5 bans towards that bot lane." While on the other side, Eclipse goes for an Ari and a Zed, and even the Nefiri ban could be pointed towards the mid lane as we see Wukong getting the lock in with the name Monkey King down at the bottom. That's interesting. I like the Wukong with the Garen combo. I mean, I honestly, you're not really ganking a Garen. You're just gonna leave him up there by himself and let him do Garen things, let him spin circles. But the Yorick pick, if it's the end up pick that gets locked in, then you've got Zac in the jungle facing off with a Wukong and Yorick versus Garen at the top. I know you said you were a bit of a Garen player back in the day. How do you like that matchup?
Okay, well, see, here's the thing. When I was playing Garen in the top lane, Yorick was a completely different champion, and back then, Yorick was AIDS. Excuse me if that's not a good word to say in the top lane because back then it was a completely different champion. You had three skills. You had Q, W, and E, and each of them summoned a different ghost, and you basically could just spam your keyboard in a in a line at some point in the game, and he was the ultimate laner. He just pushed you down. So I don't know about the matchup now, though. I'm assuming that it's York favored slightly because they did lock it in. I would assume they wouldn't counter themselves, so I'm going to go on record and say that York probably has some kind of advantage. And yes, to your point, I don't know why Drafter.lol has it set up to say Monkey King, but I'm cool with it because hey, Wukong, that's what he is. He's the Monkey King.
He
So
is the Monkey King.
we're not going to complain too much to Drafter.lol because these guys here are awesome, and I'm not an ad for them. I have no affiliation with them. But if you guys haven't seen their draft prep tool, if you're watching me right now, you should definitely tap in and look
Oh,
at it because it is absolutely fantastic. As we do see an Echo locked in.
I just saw it. I'm looking at left side and I'm like, okay, Ash Seraphine, Wukong, pretty normal. And then you've got, the two big things, Garen and Echo locks in for Diagons. I kind of like the Echo pick here. I mean, you got Xerath in lane. He's pretty immobile. Echo is able to just kind of run you down. Jinx, same thing, not the most mobile of AD carries. I really like the Echo and Wukong combo, that full dive. On the other side, the Karma pick is a lane pressure pick, but I'll be honest with you, I think Karma's kind of bait. She gets picked a lot. She has a pretty bad win rate, especially in higher up pro play, the higher divisions. She's a good lane pressure pick, but into Ash Seraphine, I think she's going to struggle a little bit because once you get Ash Seraphine going, like we said, Karma doesn't have the same disengage tools that a Jenna has, that a Lulu has, that the bands of Diagons kind of took away. So I'm excited to see how these two drafts face off against each other. And beforehand, we said, hey, we got to look out for the mid lane of Diagons. That's where their bread and butter is. That's where they found success playing. In their close games that they've had, their mid laner has been the one to kind of pick up the slack. Same thing with Tiger. I know Tiger's not playing tonight, but it's a classic mid jungle synergy has kind of pushed Diagons through. The places they've really struggled are the bot lane, are top lane, but with Ashe Seraphine, I find that it's going to be hard for them to struggle with. And I mean, I don't play Ashe as well as these guys do, but in those lanes, it's pretty oppressive.
Yeah, I think Ash and Seraphine are going to be able to handle their own in the bot lane against Jinx and Karma. The saving grace for them is that Jinx is not an early game champion. I mean, she can. Don't get me wrong. You get a reset. It doesn't matter at what point in the game you're in. You can make some things happen. But I just feel like the Ash Seraphine, is going to dominate. The constant slow, the constant, ability to CC and kind of disrupt what Red Side wants to do is going to be huge. For me, the focus, because like you said, Diagons, their best time is when their mid laner is playing well. I don't really like the Echo pick here. I'm gonna be honest. I know you mentioned it's an interesting pick and that you saw some stuff with it. And don't get me wrong, Mr. Eric, who is their mid laner, that dude is actually really good at this game. But I feel like Echo is like kind of countered himself, right? Xerath is a long range champion. He's going to be able to stand pretty far back behind his wave and just throw bursts of damage at Echo the entire laning phase. I don't know. It's probably, I'm assuming it's going to be more roam. He's going to be trying to maybe push his wave out and roam a whole bunch and maybe not stay in lane because if you stay in lane against the Xerath, I don't know much about mid lane. It's not my role, but I have a feeling that the range from Xerath is just enough to kind of make it really hard to farm.
Yeah, yeah. I actually, I didn't even really consider it too much. I think if Echo gets on top of Xerath, it's bad. But like you said, if the Xerath plays it well, I think it will be more of a roam lane. The problem is that Xerath ult is going. It takes up 98% of the map, especially when it's targeting me. It feels like it covers the entire map. So I think with the
That's so
presence that
funny.
Xerath will have,
That's so
yeah,
funny. Hold
yeah.
on, because I was about to talk about how recently my team developed a strategy of putting Xerath in mid lane and bombarding the bot lane, and I'm pretty sure that was against your team. So,
Oh yeah, no,
uh,
100% it was.
sorry,
One
sorry, sorry.
million percent. The Zach pick intrigues me because I honestly I don't see a lot of Zach. He's not in the best spot right now, so he doesn't get picked very often. But I'm excited, honestly. Like these are champs that you don't see a ton. Echo, Garen, Zach. Well, you see a ton in solo queue, but in comp, you don't really see the Garen, the Echoes, the Zach, even the Xerath. Honestly, isn't as big of a pick. But I do know that the mid laner Nightmare for Eclipse is a very good Xerath. And it does kind of concern me when you've got Gunner, who, as the ADC for Eclipse, has been playing very well. He's been doing very good all season, and then you give him this jinx pick where if you don't put him 0-3, 0-2, 0-4 leaving lane, he will just take over this game and carry. So to your point, it's kind of a give and take for both sides. You pick this oppressive bot lane on Diagons, but if that doesn't get rolling, this Jinx is going to take over the entire game. And it's not like my Jinx. This Jinx can carry. My Jinx cannot. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see. So if I had to put you on the spot, all the chips on the line, the Martians got this death beam pointed at Earth. Who are you picking to win this game one and why?
Yeah, I'm going with I'm gonna go with Eclipse in this game one. Unfortunately, I know I talked a little bit about it in the pregame, a little bit about how there's just there's a gap here. Look, it's nothing against Diagonds; those guys are awesome. For anyone who doesn't know, Diagonds is they're super dope, man. They have a cool team. Juggernaut, who I think is their captain, is one of the coolest dudes I've met. In the community before. So, and obviously they have Tiger on their team. Tiger's been around for so long. Obviously, one of our staff members, one of our admins here. So we love that guy, but I just have I just don't. I'm going to be straight up. I don't like the Echo pick. I think it is I think it's a terrible pick. Again, I don't know. I'm not a mid lane maestro. I don't know everything there is to know about mid lane, but for me, it just seems like he's about to get oppressed. And like the one thing that makes Echo really good is the roaming capability. But when you have Xerath a globe, which is basically like a semi global, that can kind of counter that. Let's say Echo does roam the bot lane, Xerath just basically has to move 25% down the lane, activate ultimate, and all of a sudden he's a part of the fight. I don't see an avenue for Echo to be useful in this game. And since York was able to, I'm assuming, counter Garen or at least have a matchup that he's comfortable playing against Garen, I'm a little concerned for Diagons. I mean, obviously they do have the really strong bot lane in Ashe and Seraphine, and I think that's great. Diagons is obviously the Ashe, but as the team name suggests, Diagons may try. We don't know if he's trying today or not, so we don't know how well he's going to play. But yeah, that would be my pick. What about you, Nemo? What you thinking? You feeling for Eclipse, or are you thinking that the Wukong Garen Ashe Seraphine combo is gonna run it?
Man, I'm not gonna lie to you. I really want to pick Diagons. I really do. The Echo pick, the Garen pick. I love watching people go twirly twirly. It's great. I'm a big Ashe player. I love playing Ashe. I really like their comp. The one thing that kind of concerns me is they have an E-sub in the jungle. We've never seen this team play with FTQVV, and so I don't know how the mid. We talked about with Tiger, the mid jungle synergy of Diagons has been where they find success. I'm not sure where that's going to be. So for game one, I think I'm going to go with Eclipse to win. I like the Jinx scaling. If you're confident enough to pick Zach, then I think that is probably he's probably a pretty good Zach. The only hesitation is that Karma. I don't know. I think Karma is a bait pick, as I said. But we're gonna see how this game one goes. We can go ahead and take a short break, and we'll be right back when the game starts.
All right.
Whenever you're ready,
All
I'm
right,
ready, sir.
guys, we are live. Here we go. The game is starting. We're only 30 seconds in, so we're gonna catch any of the early action right here. Again, this is Mr. Monstar here, with my guy Nemo here from the Breadsticks themselves, the lower division goats. But here we go. Diagon's May try apparently is the name, up against Eclipse from Andromeda Esports. Uh, and like we talked about in the pregame, for those who are listening in and those who are here, and as the directed cam is showing us this Xerath/Echo matchup, for me, is the matchup I want to see. What about you, Nemo?
Oh yeah, 1000%. And I mean, I'm also intrigued on the Garen pick, but I think it'll be big as we see in the bottom lane. Ashe already had to take a back at 1 minute in. Doesn't look too good. Um, no summoner spells expended, but just took it back, for health. Maybe get the steps in and everything like that. But I think there's going to be a lot of action in every lane because Echo's going to be trying to get on top of the Xerath, and obviously, like you said, Xerath just wants to stay away. Well, on the other lane, Ashe Seraphine, who's supposed to be having all this pressure, is kind of mitigated a little bit by the karma. Um, Even with the nerfs Ashe recently saw, she's still pretty lane oppressive. But yeah, like you said, Echo versus Xerath is not a matchup you see almost ever in comps. So I'm excited to see what they got going on. What if you're on the side of Diagons and you are, 8 seed, looking to get a big upset? I think that's safe to say. What are your points of emphasis? What are you looking to do?
Well, for me personally, I think the thing I would have told my team before this game started, I think the singular focus should be that we don't need to play Hero League, right? Um, I think what Diagon's has done this season is they've slowly gotten better and better as the season's gone on, and I think they need to focus on that, right? They need to focus on just playing their game, let the laning phase play out. Don't try to overcommit or do anything too extra. Nobody needs to necessarily get the solo bolo kill in lane, right? Focus on maybe going to objectives, and I think that's something that for my team, and I think for other teams in the lower division, I've been trying to talk to them about this entire season, is just focusing on objectives and focusing on timers and making sure that you're rotating at the right time. You're showing up to lane when you need to show up to lane. You're showing up to the scuttle crab. So for me, if I was Diagon's before this game, I'd have said, look, guys, let's not play Hero League. Let's play together. Let's play as a team. Let's do the plays that we've talked about and that we've worked on over the season. And if we do that, we'll have a chance to win the game.
Yeah, and speaking of, we are looking at maybe a fight brewing around this bottom side scuttle. We see Zach coming down. Seraphine Ashe finally getting some relief on the pressure they've been feeling through lane. Looks like the jump might be coming in from Zach. No Name looking for a pull, grabs the Ashe, looking for the Seraphine as well. Does not pull Ashe back. She still has flash and barrier, but not going to use either as they back off. Nice avoidance on the gank early from Diagons, and that's going to end up in a double scuttle going over to the side of Diagons. Kind of an early gank from Zach, who looks like he's looking for a regain. Coming back down, just going to back though. Kind of go for the top side, get the clear, but pretty good signs coming out of Diagons early. Not dying to that first gank as Wukong is top, looking for a play.
Oh.
Flash comes out of Yorick. Garen hits him and he's going to die to the tower shot. Yorick lives in the 2v1 in the failed gank attempt.
I don't think he's actually going to live. Echo coming in here might just straight up die for the skill. Does.
There he goes. Nice. Well done by Echo to clean up. Once again, Eric coming through as Seraphine's getting a lot of pressure out of this karma. Ashe trying to defend. Diagon's looking for it. Going to get rooted up in the trap. That might be a dead Ashe. Barrier comes out. Flash comes out. Seraphine, they are so low in the bot lane. Double back. Nobody goes down. We've already seen a little bit of attempts. I don't really know about the Garen flash under the tower, but tell me what you saw. Tell me what you saw on that.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. You know what I saw? I saw exactly the thing that Diagon's needs to win this game happen. That's Echo got a roam pre-6 and got a kill. So all of a sudden, he's in a really good position, right? We talked about him going to have to roam in this lane. We talked about Xerath being a little oppressive. We can see it in the CS a little bit. Xerath is slightly ahead in CS, which of course is probably mostly from that roam that Echo got. Because as we see, Echo just pushing him off this wave here. Echo does take a turret shot there, so it does have to back off. But yeah, look, in another roam, as he starts to walk towards bot lane right now, that's exactly what they need. And I think I think they're playing it perfectly, as well as they can. 5.5 minutes in, a kill onto Echo is ideal for their game plan.
Speaking of kills, it looks like York might be looking for something. Aries trying to grab something. Garen does do his little spinny spin away. But like you said, uh, Xerath isn't really going to have any global pressure till that ultimate comes up, level 6. And Garen, I don't know if this is the spot for you with all these minions. Looks like York is going to back off and let him live for a little bit. But first Drake is being done by Diagons. It looks like this might be a give angle from Eclipse on this first one. Kind of what we expected with the Ashe Seraphine lane coming out. Jinx not really an early pressure champ, as you said, but it has to feel good getting that first Drake, especially in an underdog matchup on Diagons. The root comes out from Seraphine looking for something, but Ashe just backs it off. She just wants her CS, but yeah, no, has to feel good getting that first Drake.
I think the thing. Oh, as we go into a little pause here, let me go ahead and switch to. Oh, well, we're right back into it. It was a split second pause, but anyway, I think the one thing too that Diagon's must be feeling pretty good about is Ashe right now. So we saw several plays already. Okay, of course, this pause right here, guys, is not our. You're not crashing. I'm not crashing. Everything is fine. This is a small indie developer Riot sanctioned extra pause after the pause. So it'll be over in just a moment. We'll be back into the action. But again, back to the Ashe. She's only down 6 CS right now. They're backing right now, so she's going to fall a little bit further behind. But for what we've seen in this lane so far, we saw them get pushed out early. We saw Ashe recall early. We saw Zac get an early gank. For all of those things to happen and not to be down, even more than they already are, because they might be able to catch some of this wave when they get back, I think that's pretty okay.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, into a lane where you got a couple camps into a gank from the Zac, like you have to be feeling good, especially with the pressure that they've been under. They had to use all 4 sums in bot, which will be coming up pretty soon. But they've done a good job surviving that pressure, and that's kind of what you're looking for. You don't want this Eclipse bot lane to get ahead. If they do, it's going to be a long game for you. You don't want to feed this Jinx any more than she needs to. As we see, Xerath was looking for a little bit of ward in the jungle, as Yorick is also looking. They're trying to keep track on this Wukong, which, I mean, he did have the early gank where Echo came and cleaned up, but honestly, this is kind of a perfect case scenario. As he dashed in, gets stunned under the tower, easy, just press R, and I get my reset button. That's why you love Echo, and that's why I hate Echo.
Yeah, it's something that we haven't really noted yet that I'm just now kind of looking at is the tempo that Zac is behind, which for me is pretty surprising because Zac is someone I know to be pretty consistent with clearing his jungle, especially when No Name plays the Zac champion. And right now he's 12 CS behind her, a couple of camps, and a great counter gank there. Oh, Zac with the perfect timing. That was incredible. What a great timing on that to jump in and save the Xerath.
What a play. And that's kind of what we were talking about, tracking junglers. As Echo, it feels good to dash in to put the pressure on that Xerath, but he didn't know that Zac was there. And Zac immediately jumps on as soon as he sees him dive, and they're going to get rewarded with that. With the Void Grubs, as the arrow comes down from Ashe, and Jinx might just be dead. Wukong grabs the kill. First kill of the game for the Wukong of FTQVV. That is a mouthful, but flash from Karma looking for the response onto Wukong. Ashe standing under tower hits him with a couple autos, pushes the Karma off, and like we said, you do want that kill to go over to Ashe, but this Jinx needs to leave the lane down, 0-2, 0-3 as Xerath ult comes in looking for Ashe. He's just out of range, but Seraphine is going to eat a couple of these. Karma coming for the root.
Yeah, that Karma playing really crazy aggressive.
100%. Speaking of aggressive, Zac found in the enemy jungle and just pushed out by Echo. Crackhead Eric, like we said, having a lot of impact on this game early. And this is something that we've seen from these more proactive mid laners. Last night we had Miko, who was making a lot of plays in the other lanes. You see Crackhead Eric's trying to keep the tempo up for his team, and you're seeing that in a lot of pressure in the jungle tempo, up CS as you were pointing out, while he is giving up a little bit of CS to the Xerath. With a nice little stun, but I think teams are just going to go back to farming as Wukong's searching for something bot, but good ward by Squirtle keeping them away. He's just going to back. But so far, what have you seen? 9 minutes in, 10 minutes in, we're about an even game. First Drake over to Diagon's. The Grubs go over to Eclipse. What are you kind of thinking right now?
Honestly, I think for me, I'm pleasantly surprised 10 minutes into the game that Diagon's is actually. I mean, this is an even game. If anything, Diagon's is slightly ahead, right? Because they have the one dragon. For me personally, I think dragons are a little bit more important. Stacking those dragons is always a huge thing. And when you have a champion or a combination like Ashe and Seraphine, you have an opportunity to stack dragons. So I'm pretty okay with Diagon's position right here. I think the one thing that they kind of have going for them is Wukong being so far ahead in his jungle tempo, being so far ahead in farm. He's gonna, at some point start leveling up. He's gonna be higher in levels. He's gonna be higher in experience, right? So he's gonna have more gold, and I think that's a huge thing for them because this is an E sub, right? This is someone they haven't played with yet. So, what's the best way to counter not being comfortable with playing with a certain player? That player just getting kind of fed and being strong, right, and being able to help the whole team. And so, if they do that, I think they'll be in a good position.
Yeah, I agree. One thing that is to note is enemy team has a Yorick and they got 3 Void Grubs. So that split push is going to be real. It's going to be a threat that Diagons will have to deal with as both junglers are kind of circling around the bot lane. We looking at the next Drake coming up, and it looks like they're ready to fight as Echo and Xerath are both moving down into this bot lane. And then your ADCs are just going to keep hitting minions until they have to come. As the arrow comes out of Ashe into the Seraphine, oh Wukong, and that is just a dead Jinx. Gets the flash out of her too. Wukong's still going. Zac slams 2 together. This is not a winning fight for Eclipse, even with the Xerath over the top. What a play by Diagons, just deleting Gunnar, not allowing him to have any kind of uptime. And that's the danger of this Ashe Seraphine lane. As Echo's getting a little bit poked out, we're still fighting over Drake, even on the side of Eclipse, because Diagon's health bars are low. Garen, I don't know if you want to walk up there as he's channeling the back on the York, but Jinx will be back soon as they're still fighting. That might be a dead Ashe. Yep. Nightmare scoops up the kill. Nightmare scoops up the kill on the Ashe, and Diagon's made a good play, and then they overstayed. And now the second Drake is going to go over to the side of Eclipse, man. That gotta feel bad if you're Diagons.
Yeah, I don't know what obviously we're not in their comms right there. We didn't get an opportunity to hear what they were saying there, but I don't know what the comms are right there. But sticking around that long when everyone was below half HP was definitely not the right move, and they got punished for it. Some of that Xerath just walked up and exploded. I believe it was the Ashe, right? And now all of a sudden Xerath is 1-0-1, and this game is is looking like it's going to be crazy. The further along we go, of course, Wukong 2-0-1. So still really on the road to that kind of becoming really strong and being able to support his laners that I was talking about before. But I don't know, man. I think Diagon's made a little bit of a mistake there, but luckily it's not the worst punishment in the world. They're not down too far, but it is a 3-man gank here on the top lane. Karma here and Zac both here. Garen does flash, maybe a little bit of waste there because you weren't getting away from that crew at that time. So better to just give up your life and save the flash for another day. But nonetheless, that's a dead Garen. And one thing I want to point out too that you mentioned that one of the keys for Diagon. I heard you say this before the game. One of the keys was making Jinx come out of lane like 0-2, 0-3, 0-4, and she's already 0-2. So, might be a good look for them.
Yeah, 100%. Like, you want to keep this Jinx down for as long, because eventually she will scale. It's just how late can we delay that scaling happening? Because if she scales at 40 minutes, by then you're going to be way ahead. But if you let her start snowballing, it's not going to be fun for you. And as you can see how much damage Seraphine does with one of her Qs, it's kind of ridiculous. But kind of like what you were saying in this Echo Xerath matchup, it's kind of like a give and take, because when Echo gets on the front foot, he's pushing forward, he's pushing the Xerath, but I mean, look at this. He can't even walk up to get a cannon minion. He's getting poked out over and over again. So we're just looking to see if FTQ and Mr. Crackhead Eric can keep roaming, can keep diving, keep this Jinx down. The one thing I do see that's scary is I do see a 2-1-0 Yorick and a 0-2-1 Garen. So in this top lane, this Yorick, if he gets anything else, he's going to become a monster. And Garen's not really going to be able to match him on the side lanes. This Yorick camp is extremely popular. He's extremely mostly picked. As we look engaged, look coming in from Wukong, FTQ looking for something on No Name, but he's just going to find the gray screen instead. As Garen falls on the opposite side, Ares with the solo kill under the tower. And like we said, that's a 3-1-0 Yorick. This is not looking good for the side of Juggernaut, who normally is pretty solid for this Diagon's team, man. But that's 2 picks on the side of Eclipse, and maybe showing why they're the higher seed a little bit as they're doing the Rift Herald.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I think Diagon's they were playing it so well, but just a few little miscues, and now all of a sudden they're behind 3K gold. And Eclipse is in a pretty dominating position. The spotlight for them is that the bot lane of Ashe and Seraphine is still doing very well, and Wukong is still doing very well. So it's not like it's all lost. And what you mentioned about the mid lane, it's so interesting, this Xerath and Echo matchup, right? I mentioned that the range of Xerath was going to make it really hard for Echo, and he proved in the first 7 to 10 minutes that wasn't necessarily true. And now when we looked at it just a second ago, he was down below half HP, and Xerath was pushing him in. And so it kind of looks like Xerath has come online and is able to push him away. But when you look at it, they're both 131 to 131 in CS. And Echo's on the move again.
Yeah, Echo moving down, looking like there's a play. Both junglers are here. Wukong was looking. Ashe Arrow comes down on Karma, kind of questionable, but the root coming in from Seraphine, flash forward from Echo. FTQ picks up Squirtle and they're looking to continue the fight. The Xerath over the top. Echo comes in with the ultimate of his own, back to not dead, and Echo grabs the kill onto Zac, but Yorick is here. TP comes down. Wukong chasing. Gunnar picks up his first kill of the game, and the Garen also follows suit with the TP in, and he's going to run right back out. Probably should have stayed top lane with that TP, but I mean, pretty even trade. You picked up a kill on Wukong, but the scary part is you also give a kill over to this Jinx, who just completed the Zeal. So now she's Hex off the Zeal, maybe an item or 2 more, and she's going to be doing a lot of damage while your Ashe has not picked up a kill. But bot tower going over in the way of Eclipse as the root comes down from Karma, just playing a little poke game with the Garen, and they're looking for more. Yorick pushing forward, looking for the knockup on Seraphine, does grab the damage. Root comes down from Karma. This Garen cannot die to this Jinx and give her another kill, another reset, and it's going to go down. Squirtle picks up the kill instead, and it looks like it might just be falling apart as Yorick's looking to pick up the T2 in the bot lane for Eclipse. Diagons can't be feeling good about that, and man, like we said, it's just kind of small things. They kind of overstayed a little bit, tried to get the kill onto multiple members of Eclipse, and now you're looking at a 4K gold lead, the second Drake going over the way of Eclipse. But man, I want to highlight again how much impact this Yorick has had already, as well as the ult coming over from Nightmare on the Xerath, forcing a good fight from a bad situation.
Yeah, I have to be honest, that Yorick TPN was everything that they needed, right, in order to win that game. As soon as he started TPing in, because honestly, before the TPN, it was looking like Diagons might have an opportunity to kind of even it out and maybe go 1 for 1 or 2 for 2 in the little skirmish they had. But as soon as Yorick showed up, the fight was over. Like, everybody needed to run and scramble, and unfortunately, several weren't able to get away. But that guy is huge. 171 CS now, 3-1. And I just want to peek in, and I just want to see what's going on in the world of Eclipse right now. So I'm going to unmute them for just a moment, and we're going to see what they're doing.
Nice.
Garen's missing. Careful, mid fight.
Alright, cool.
Okay,
Definitely. We can keep sieging. We can keep sieging.
Yeah. This Baron is doable, no?
Garen,
Careful.
Walk down.
Coming to you guys now.
On me? No.
Will not.
No!
Alright. Okay. Garen, ulti. No ulti, Garen. Doesn't matter.
I got outplayed, my bad.
Oh my god, and we tapped in at an unfortunate moment there for the side of Eclipse as Garen just picked up a quadra kill. I think maybe it was too slow, so it wasn't an exact quadra kill, but they killed 4 members of the other team. And that was absolutely extraordinary to go from 0-4 to 4-4 that fast. And now Yorick's dead, and that is a full ace for the side of Diagons. Nemo, tell me what just happened here. I just tuned into the chat to see how they were planning on the next move, and all of a sudden their entire team was was dead. I really would have loved to hear your play-by-play on that, but we were tapped into the comms, and I didn't want to just mute it. So give me your thoughts, man. Tell us what just happened.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I unmuted the chat for Eclipse, and all I heard was, "Oh!" as Garen ulted one of them for the triple kill. That's Garen, man. Holy man. Garen on Juggernaut, you were talking about how he can have that impact on the game, and we were not really seeing it, but man, he absolutely did some twirls. He did the Demacia. You know how Garen goes. And man, that just swung the gold. It was down to, 5K gold lead over in the way of Eclipse. Now it's only 2. And that's going to not exactly give much more map control to the way of Diagons, but it's pretty huge. Just honestly for team morale. Like you were kind of starting to see the game slowly get taken away from you. Little things. Down goes your bot tier 2. Down goes your bot tier or your mid tier 2. And now you've got you're like, okay, we can win a fight here. I know this team, they beat us in the regular season. Everybody and their mother has money on Eclipse to win this game. But Diagons show that they can win fights. And that's the problem with teams that just constantly want to fight. Like I said pregame, you can get caught. The Garen did the Garen thing. And I know you as a Garen player probably love to see that. Me as an ADC player, I absolutely hated it. I honestly hated every moment of it. From when he started spinning to when he flashed in and ulted Xerath. I understand the, oh my God, when Xerath died. So I completely get it.
Yeah, for those of you listening in right now, you keep hearing him say it. I don't know how true it is, but you keep hearing him say it. Nemo keeps saying that I'm a Garen player, so make sure the next time you're in a game against me, you ban Garen instead of Malphite. I appreciate that a lot. That would be fantastic. He clearly doesn't know who I am and what champion I play, but so please ban Garen. For those of you listening, go ahead and ban Garen. That's going to be very helpful for your team. That's my best champion, apparently, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to stick to that, whether we like it or not, all right? Of course, guys, as you know, we're in a pause right now, so I'm going to flip the screen off the game for a minute here. You can look at my beautiful or not beautiful face, depending on your opinion. I don't really care what your opinion is. I look great. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So we are at a little over 3 minutes into this pause right now. You can kind of actually see it on my screen over here. So you'll know when I know when the game is unpaused. All right, so just give us a few minutes. Give us some time. Diagon's the man the team is named after, Diagon's MT. He is unfortunately disconnected from the game at the moment. So if I had to guess, probably our best friend, small indie developer Riot, has crashed us with Vanguard. That would be my guess. I don't know if that's true. Don't smite me, oh Riot overlords, please, because I'm in the middle of casting and I'm streaming the game, so I don't want to get Vanguarded. But anyway. Nemo, tell me, right now, sitting here, we're 10-10 in kills. 2 dragons for the side of Eclipse for the red side, 1 dragon for the side of Diagons. They got the first dragon, and Eclipse have taken 2 straight. But they're still down. They're still down a little over 2K gold. What does Diagons need to do, man? What do we need to see from them right now to win this this game? Which we just saw the huge fight from Garen, so he's back in the game. What do you think? What do you think they need to do?
I think it's exactly that. I think it's punishing what Eclipse wants to do, which is they want to fight, they want to push, they're confident in their ability to win team fights, and you need to catch them by surprise. I guess the best way I could put it is like in a boxing match, you want to be the counter puncher. You don't want to be the one, throwing yourself into the one who wants you to fight with them. You want to counter punch. You want to just take the hits and strike back against them. So I think on the side of Diagons, you're looking at this Echo, this Garen, Wukong, maybe initiating with an Ashe arrow, which is kind of where they found success so far. While on the other side, on Eclipse, I'll be honest, you want Yorick to be in the side lane. You want him to be pushing. You don't want to take a 5v5. You want Yorick to be pushing. Garen has to go answer. And then, Zach hits something on the Ashe Seraphine. You let your Jinx get a reset. That's kind of where you want to go from Eclipse, instead of kind of pushing the agenda, forcing fights, forcing this. You've got full map control, you've got vision, you've got objective control. Honestly, I want to see some more fights. I won't even lie to you. I really do. I want Diagons to get this Garen big. I want this Echo to start deleting people, and it looks like we're going to have the opportunity to see that as the pause just ended.
All right, all right. I think I have. Oh, wait, hold on. Why are we? What is going on? Okay, there we go, guys. We are back with the game. We may see a little bit of a pause here. I don't know if Riot's done their There it is. Their small indie developer Riot sanctioned second pause after the initial pause. That's okay though. We're already back into the game. And of course, for directed camera. Oh, and the ulti comes in from Ashe onto the Jinx right away. Good assault there. Echo here too as well. Going to be able to clean up the kill. Great job. Great aggression by Diagons. Right after the pause, you got to think they were mapping that one out during the pause. What do you think?
100%. That's something that you did, because man, it hasn't even been 20 seconds, and they fired that arrow at the Jinx. Had Echo come on the cleanup duty. I mean, it's an 0-1 Ashe, 0-1-7, but she's having an impact. She's their main initiator for this fight, and it looks like that Diagons have decided that is their green light to go for this Baron. It's just Echo and Ashe on it as of right now. Seraphine playing a zoning job, but now the rest of the team comes. There is a ward there. It is blocked out as of right now. So no vision for Eclipse. Down comes the Xerath ult, and that's going to hurt that Seraphine a lot. That might be a dead Seraphine. Lives on one. No, Nightmare with the snipe from halfway across Earth on the Xerath. And the bomb comes in. Zac jumping in, looking for a follow-up. Channel in the back right there. I don't know about that. Juggernaut hits the blast cone, gets away. And Ashe and Wukong get blasted back in. Wukong, what are we doing? FTQ falls to No Name. And that could be a green light back for Eclipse. Is look what we said. Yorick pushing the sideline. They're going to lose their base if they don't get 3 backs off. And that's a free Baron over for the side of Eclipse. Tell me, Monstar, what did you see? What's going on?
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. It's the same thing we talked about in the early stages of this game. There are just small misplays happening for the side of Diagons. Like why are you doing Baron? Like, let's be honest. Why are you attacking the Baron at that moment? You know, you're not that strong. It just spawned. You're not going to be able to kill it fast enough. I'm pretty sure, even if the team didn't come and try to fight you and pick one of you off, the person who was dead would have respawned and been back into the fight long before you finished that Baron. So I just like those small little misplays are kind of for me the key for Diagons in this game. Like honestly, transparently, I think they've played like overall as a team a pretty good game, but these little errors compared to the side of Eclipse, who are playing a mostly clean game in terms of their macro ideas and what they want to do, is what's holding them back. And I really just think, like in that last one, Garen, he just got so low so quick, for example. Like he wasn't able to make the impact he made in the one before. Their best scenario is for Garen to flank almost, right? And then it'd be like then it'd be like Eclipse is stuck between Garen and Wukong. They have to make a choice. Do we go into the Garen who is going to beat the heck out of us, or do we turn around and fight the Wukong who's going to ulti us and knock us all up, right? You have to make a choice there. And when they did that the last time, Garen was able to kind of separate out the backline and knock and kill them. And in that situation, you know, Garen, by the time the fight started, was already below half HP. I don't know if he was the one that was attacking the Baron or not. I don't remember, but whatever he was, he lost most of his HP and was unable to be a part of things.
Yeah, it looks like the strategy from the Xerath, obviously he's targeting Ashe now, but it looks like that is a dead,
the Jinx rocket
Ashe. The Jinx rocket deleted the Ashe, and what a shot from Gunnar to grab the 3rd kill of the game.
And his flash was up too. That's got it. You know he's punching himself in the face right now because his flash was up.
Speaking of punching in the face, Echo gets punched in the face by Zac. Seraphino comes down, gets 5, and now Wukong follows up with the 5-man knockup. FTQ grabs Gunnar, and out goes the Zac with the flash. Manages to survive, but good turnaround once again from Diagons when, honestly, it looked like they were looking at an end from the side of Eclipse, but man, like you said, flash still up on Ashe, gets caught by the Xerath and then by the Jinx rocket. I do have a question for you on that last Drake. You know, they've been winning team fights. They had their cooldowns up. Wukong went top and invaded instead of looking for contesting that Drake. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, you know, the thing is they had the opportunity still to give over one more dragon. So if it's honestly, they know they can't really beat them in any kind of fight right now. So it's probably best to just go to try to collect a few resources, right? Because your moment is not right now. And, you know, I think the best thing to do, like I said, is collect some gold, get some more items, and then maybe on this next dragon, when it's soul point here for the side of Eclipse, you can maybe go contest that one.
Yeah, and we're looking at a 4K gold lead at 25 minutes. This game is not over. Despite Jinx now having 3 items, so she's going to be hurting. We just saw the way into it. You've got Seraphine, you've got Wukong. I mean, Garen wasn't there at that specific moment, but you've got him too. Like this is just a big wombo combo kind of team fight coming from the side of Diagons, which I like. I mean, as the scrappy underdog, that's something you want to look for. And we got people in the chat saying we got to clip it, and I agree. I think that's a clip worthy, 5-man ult into 5-man knockup from Wukong. I think it was a good clip. I think it's a clip.
Yeah, I think so too, and I'm going to go ahead right here as a fight is brewing in the top lane and unmute Eclipse and see what's going. Actually, I'm going to unmute Diagons.
Yeah, let's hear into some Diagons.
Jinx got arrowed.
Zach went deep.
I'll deal with Yorick. You guys are good. You're good. Go ahead.
Damn it. Oh. No, that'll do it.
Yikes.
Okay, and go ahead and mute that again. Unfortunate team fight for them. It looks like Eclipse kind of put the nail in the coffin there, as I think that was Jinx that came up with a Quadra kill. You mentioned it. We're 26 minutes in, and Jinx got the reset, got the Quadra. What did you think about that fight?
Yeah, that's just Jinx doing Jinx things.
Shit.
Garen
Holy
Demacia
crap, just exploded the Jinx. What was that?
It's gonna be a loss, but hey, man, you know what? Juggernaut got his Demacia on the Jinx. It's gonna be a 1-0 lead for the side of Eclipse, but man, Diacons they showed something. They showed that they can fight with this Eclipse team, and it's 18-13, only as 8K gold lead. That was a good game one, and I think put a couple little things to the side. I think Diagons could make it a good game too, potentially sending this one to a 3-game series.
Yeah, I think they were just a couple of misplays away. There was that time in the bottom river when they overstayed. They got the kill. I think it was maybe onto Jinx. They got the kill, I think, onto Jinx, and then they overstayed. They had 3 members of their team down there. They were below half HP, and I think it was maybe Zach ended up showing up, getting a kill, and then they got a second kill, and all of a sudden, you're at a you're losing. So I think the most important thing for Diagons in this game, going in between game one and game two, is just to breathe, take a deep breath. You played really well, all right. You just made a couple of calls that caused you errors, like that one and like the Baron call to start hitting the Baron for some reason. I think both of those things kind of put them in a dire situation. But overall, they played well. So I hope they're not panicking. I hope they keep their head on straight, because I think they have an opportunity, like you said, to make a game 3 happen here.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm excited. I think that some big picks are going to be coming up. I wonder what we're going to see from the bot lane. If we're going to see another 5 bans targeted toward ADC support in game 2. And if there is, I wonder who Gunner's going to look at. You got your Jinx out, but I mean, there's other hyperscalers in the game. I would love to see a Zeri personally, but not everyone loves Zeri like I do. So maybe something like a Xayah, a Kaisa, something like that. But yeah,
Yep.
I'm excited for game 2.
Yeah. With that being said, we're gonna wait on the teams to maybe get a sip of water, take a quick bathroom break, and then we'll start game 2 draft in just a couple of minutes. So don't go anywhere. Don't run away. Don't say bye. We will be back just shortly. Thank you guys. Alrighty, the Archives fans, here we are. We're back into game number 2. Draft is just about to start in a moment. Okay, I think that we're just waiting on the side of Diagons to get into the right draft link. As you guys, if you were here in the first game and you remember, there were 2 different draft links. We saw a bunch of empty bands going in one, but it has started now, so everybody is rolling. Red side is Diagons this time, and Eclipse is on the blue side this time. So first ban here, I'm assuming it's going to be no, it would be the opposite because Eclipse banned Fury last time. I don't know who Diagons banned first last time, so it's a surprise
Smolder.
for all of us. Smolder. Well, this time we're getting Yunara.
Ooh, oh, they are first pick, so maybe they're looking to first pick the Smolder here as we see a Nefiri ban come out. I think Diagons might do the same strategy, double AD ban, and then I believe it was Janna. Oh, there's the Janna. They the support for Eclipse has to be a Janna player. There's no way you ban Janna top 3 twice if they're not a good Janna player.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm going to be honest. I have no idea. I'm going to have to look back at some of Eclipse's games to find out if Janna is like this primo pick or if Janna is being banned by everyone in every game. Maybe it's a one-trick pony or whatever. But Janna is that champion that no matter the status of her, what do you call it, her balance or whether she's overtuned or undertuned, Janna is
Right.
always useful, right? It's always useful. It's always an important part. Of course, look, there we go. As you called it, we see Eclipse ban the Smolder. We see Eclipse ban the Smolder. Assuming that Diagons is going to try to pick it first, which, last game Diagons banned the Smolder. Everyone banning the Smolder. These guys must have been watching yesterday. That's what happened. Everybody was watching yesterday.
Yeah, 100%. Smolder, like, I know I spoke to a couple of the players from yesterday, and they're like, yeah, it was either we pick it game 1 or it gets banned all 3 games. There's no exception for this champ with the spot that it's in, with the Deathfire Torch and how much damage it does. I was actually wanting to talk about this Caitlyn pick because I thought it was something that we might see Eclipse pick up since, you've got, obviously, you got the Yanara ban, you've got Ashe is gone, Jinx is gone, Smolder's gone. And we see Diagon's insta-lock the Jhin. And oh my god, I called it. Call me the prophet. Please lock the Zeri. I'm a huge Zeri fan. I'm a Zeri
Do you think we get a Yuumi?
They hovered it in the last game, so maybe. If they lock a Zeri Yuumi, it would be very fun to see. Especially, I do like the matchup into Jhin. He does a little bit more wave clear, but like scaling wise, man, a Zeri can just run around a team fight. And when you combo it with the Yuumi, that shielding
There it is.
Are you a prophet? Are you a prophet? Let's see. Oh no, they're gonna take the Xin Zhao.
Oh, don't tease me. They're probably
This is
listening. Are you guys listening? You guys are listening,
Gotta
aren't
be.
you? Listening in. You're teasing us, man. Just lock into Yuumi. We don't want Pocket Soraka. So based on the bans in the last game, it looked like a lot of enchanters. I swear if you guys lock in Pocket Soraka, I'm voting Diagons 100% to win just because you locked in Pocket Soraka. I'd rather see the Pocket Yuumi. So thank you very much for that. And for the side of Diagons, we do see 2. If this Fizz is locked in, this is going to be 2 for me. Pretty interesting first picks. Transparently, those who are close to me, those who game with me, they know I don't like 3 ADCs. I think 3 ADCs are absolutely useless. You should never pick them, no matter what the situation is, unless you are, at the GM or challenger level. And that's Jhin is one of them, Ezreal is one of them, and Kalista are one of them. I think all 3 of those champions are just absolutely awful when played at lower elos. No offense to my lower elo friends out there. We don't have the accuracy or the skill to determine when to use our like to hit 99% of those Ezreal Qs. Like I don't think it's in us, bro. I'm just gonna be real. I don't know if you one trick them or not or whatever the situation is, but save that for the pros. Let's play something that auto attacks if you're playing ADC. But here we go again. The Yuumi hover. I know they're listening now.
Maybe they're just trying to get the Yuumi to get banned. Oh no, they
Oh,
lock
there
it.
it is.
Okay,
There's the Yuumi
there
lock.
it is. Okay, so I do want to talk about once again. Diagon show this draft strategy. They pick AD mid top 3. That's what they did in game 1, I believe it was. Yeah, they picked AD support top. This time AD mid top. I mean, you're showing a lot of your cards here. I mean,
I think you're wrong, bud. Just hear me out. I think that's Fizz Jungle. Just hear me out.
You know what? If it's Fizz Jungle, fair enough, man. fair enough. I'll take my L on that one. But I think this. Oh no, they also think it's Fizz Jungle. Okay. So yeah, the Galio band comes out. What do you think about the Zeri Yuumi bot lane into a? Well, I guess just into a Jhin at this point.
Dude, Zeri Yumi is is one of the most toxic combinations. It's Ash Seraphine. It's Ash. It's like the Ash Seraphine combo. It's really toxic. It's not something that people should be allowed to actually play in game. I feel like, but to be fair, I think Yumi shouldn't be in these kind of games anyway, right? You should have to play something that actually has to click some buttons periodically at least. But anyway, I'm teasing. Yumi's fine. No one smite me. I don't want some DMs after this is over saying why are you hating on Yumi or whatever. I'm a Yumi one trick player. I don't care. All right, we're all entitled to our opinions. But here we go. The last set of bans came out. Thresh was banned by the side of Eclipse, and Hwei was banned by the side of Diagon's. Look, see, there's the DM Queen Ari. Of course, everybody watching knows the troll himself was gonna ping me about hating on Yumi. So anyway, we did see the Hwei band, and and the K'Sante locked in. I think against Sion, that's pretty normal, right? That's a pretty good pick, counter pick.
Yeah, it's a good. So Casante's good into Scion. Honestly, if the Scion's good, it's kind of just like a nothing burger matchup. They're just gonna hit each other and then be fine. They're both. I mean, Casante can do a lot of damage, but it also is a Scion. As soon as he gets one piece of armor, he's going to be fine. What I'm kind of interested in is who they're gonna pair with this Jhin. They're leaving the support pick to the bottom. I think it'll be a good match. I'm looking kind of more engaged though. You want something that can lock down this area. You've got the Ari charm, and like you said, it's going to be Fizz jungle, unless it's Ari jungle, which in that case we've lost the plot. I don't know where we're going at that point. So I'm curious to see where these last two picks are going to go. It's going to be a Nami. Okay, so Jhin Nami. Can't say that I'm a huge fan of the Nami pick.
Hold on, do me a favor, Nemo, and talk for a second. I need to do something really fast.
Okay, sounds good. Well, let's talk. Let's talk, guys. Let's have a conversation. I did see Gunner in chat say it's time after locking the Zeri. Please, I really love this champ. I hope that you have a good game on it. And we were hovering Kennen for a second. I was like, wait a minute. I'm curious to see where this mid lane pick's gonna go. It's gonna go towards the Aurora. So in this matchup, I think Ari Aurora is a pretty even matchup. I think it's more skill based. Aurora has a little bit of the advantage early, but once Ari gets all that mobility, if you can dodge one of Aurora's abilities or obviously dodge her combo, then it's going to be pretty big. If I was to take a pick, I like Eclipse's side a little bit more. The Nami pick kind of gives me a little bit of hesitation. I love Fizz jungle. I love that Diagons are trying things and trying to make something work, but it's just I don't know. I haven't seen many Fizz jungle in my day. I like the Eclipse draft a little bit more. Xin Zhao is frankly a better jungler than Fizz. Cassante and the Scion's a good matchup.
For all we know, it could be Scion jungle still. I mean, we're not 100% sure. Or did they tell us? Did they say that in the league chat? They might have. I'm assuming it's Fizz jungle. I want to be completely honest. I'm assuming it's Fizz jungle, but you never know, man. This is middle division. This is League of Legends. We have absolutely no clue what these guys do sometimes, and I'm gonna side with this Jack player in our chat right now. I do think Eclipse, unfortunately for the side of Diagons, is probably going to close this one out 2-0 just based on the comp, right? Now, the one thing I do see, right, the one bright light I do see for Diagons is they have the Scion and Eclipse has no tanks. Really. I mean, K'Sante and Xin Zhao are not. I mean, they're slightly tanky. They're not really tanks. And I just have a feeling that that's going to come into play as this game drag on. Yeah, exactly. Diagon's comp doesn't even exist. That is exactly true. That is very true. We don't know what exactly is going on here. It's okay. Maybe they decided, look, this could potentially be our last game. We all need to play champions that we're comfortable playing, that we feel like we're going to be able to play well on in lane, and we're going to be able to keep up with, and then they can figure the rest out later. Sometimes that's what you have to do.
Yeah, 100%. It's just, it's hard, man. This Zeri is going to get going, and you have a big target in Scion, yeah, but K'Sante can just choose whoever he wants to not be able to play the fight. So Zeri's going to be able to get away, and with the Yumi shielding, I don't think Fizz is going to be able to just get on top of the Zeri. Ari has the charm to lock him down, but the main part about this is how good is your Cassante, like his target selection. Is who's he going to take out of the fight? I'm looking at the Nami, I'm looking at the Jin. One of them two, if you take them out of the fight completely, then it's going to be rough for Diagons to try and play the fight. They don't really have much synchronization with anything, to be completely honest with you. So this might just be a comp of, hey, we're going to play what we want to play. It could potentially be the end of our season. Let's go and send it on our comfort picks and see what we can do.
Yeah. So it is Fizz Jungle, by the way, for those wondering. Obviously, we kind of thought it was going to be Fizz Jungle. It is Fizz Jungle. That is the situation that we're going into here. I don't know. The thing about Fizz Jungle for me is and this is obviously the E-sub that is for Digons. Playing on the Fizz. So I'm assuming there's a story there. I'm assuming there's something to it. Like he has a plan. Maybe he can hard carry with Fizz. But the issue with Fizz for me in the jungle is like you have no way. Like, what do you do when you gank? Like what's your goal? Like it's just to give off a lot of damage. And when you look at the teams, you're essentially saying as Fizz, hey, look, Ari, you have your charm, Sion, you have your Q, and Jin. I think Jin has a slow of some sort, right? Um, and so if you want us to come gank you, then if you want me to come gank you, then you're gonna have to hit your CC, and I don't like that, right? I like as the jungler being able to rely on my abilities, my plan, my CC to make sure that I lock things down for my laners, and not the other way around, right? But that could be the strategy. Maybe they're like, hey, look, man, you're the E-sub. We don't know you. We want to play around you. We kind of know our game, so we want to know what you want us to do. And maybe he said, look, I'm Fizz. I'm the go. I can carry you. So jump in my backpack, and I'm going to take you to the promised land. I don't know if that's true, but we're going to find out here in just a few moments. With that in mind, though, we're waiting 2 minutes and 50 seconds on the spectator delay, as you guys can probably see on my screen right here. Well, you can't see the timer, but you can see that I'm waiting here. We're going to take a slight break. I'm going to grab a drink, maybe give Nemo a moment to grab a drink, and we will be right back. 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Archives 2026 Spring Split. We are looking at, if you didn't have us for the first game, we are looking at an elimination match here in our middle division. It's a D3 cap league for those of you who aren't competing in it. You should know it is a D3 cap league at the moment. So, and a little bit of it, guys, as before I even introduce them to the game, it looks like they're engaging in on the Xin Shao here. Xin Shao most likely going to have to back here, or he's not going to back, and he might just lose his life. Aurora is here. Here we go. Fizz is engaging in on the Xin Shao. He does take a lot of damage. He might be able to escape. Ari! Ooh, does not get the kill. Okay, back to the introductions here. Crazy opening sequence. Honestly, though, Ari losing a lot of that early advantage in the lane there. Aurora already up several CS, going to be able to push that wave and probably prioritize level 2. I don't know how important that is in mid lane compared to bot lane, but if that happened in bot lane, we'd be so excited. With that being said, we are in a middle division elimination match. Both of these teams are 0-1 in the playoffs. They did lose their first round matchup, so they're sitting here in the losers bracket. And currently, the blue side, being Eclipse from Andromeda Esports, are up 1-0. And on the red side, you have Diagon's May Try is the answer to their team name. Down 0-1 and under a lot of pressure. They need to win this game in order to stay alive in our league this split. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and see a lot of action in the bot lane and a lot of top lane, but I'll go ahead and break down what champions you're seeing for the side of Eclipse. You have Eris Oma on the K'Sante. You have No Name X on Xin Shao. Mr. Nightmare himself on Aurora. Gunner playing the Zeri, and Squirtle on the Yuumi that we talked so pleasantly about in the pre-game introductions. As the top leaders are kind of going at it, we just talked about K'Sante. Of course, you just saw him on the screen. He is up against Sion that Juggernaut is playing. As we get a little gank here from Xin Shao onto the Ari, and an early kill going over to Xin Shao for the side of Eclipse. Not the kind of start that Diagon's probably wanted here. But as you saw, the mid laner is Crackhead Eric on the Ari. Fizz is their E-sub as, oh my goodness, these kills. I can't even get the introductions finished. Zeri picks up a kill now, which is, again, really, really good for the side of Eclipse. If they get Zeri going, they get Zeri hot, they get Zeri fed, that is, really, really dangerous. The earlier Zeri comes online, the earlier and quicker this game will probably end.
Yeah, 100%. And as I'm coming in, there was one play that sealed that Ari's fate about 3 minutes ago. When she flashed after that Xin Zhao to try and get an auto off and get the early kill, she sealed the fact that she was going to be ganked early. She gave up all her lane pressure. She was trying to get it back, but if you don't have flash and you're not level 6, Ari can't do much. As we see a gank coming in, Sion knocked up. It is a Sion early, but I think Xin Zhao might be looking to add a kill on his total for 2-0-0, but Fizz is here to match. We see FTQ looking for a response. Sion's going to get flash on. Ares picks up the kill. 1-0 on the K'Sante, and Fizz looking for a response. Shielding comes in from the K'Sante, and somehow Xin Zhao, No Name X gets out, and that's a double kill going over to Ares. We're seeing a 2K gold lead at 3 minutes already on the side of Eclipse, and like you said, you don't want this Zeri to get fed. The Jin Nami, it's a lane, but you can have pressure, especially without there realistically being a second person in the bot lane. But man, they're just overstepping a little bit.
The only thing worse for the side of Diagons than feeding Zeri is feeding K'Sante. And here we are. K'Sante just picked up a huge double kill. Now he's 2-0. And K'Sante, one of those champions, you guys hear me talk about it in some of my games when they play these champions, like the Master Yi's of the world, where he can pretty much win a game 1v9 on his own. Like, you don't even need teammates, right? And we might see that happen right here, right now, as Eclipse in this early game are just kind of running away with it. Nami getting really low, too.
Yeah, Cloud is
great
looking
bubble.
for something. Zeri dashes on in. Gunner looking for something, pops the barrier. Fizz is here. I think he might be out of range. Dashes in, takes a tower shot, and Yuumi is looking for a response. Squirtle doing everything in their power to keep their Zeri alive. Gunner with a bit ambitious of a dash in there, but as we see, FTQ is trying to make plays happen around the map. I just think, as of right now, and we talked about it, the Xin Zhao is just going to have early pressure over this Fizz as we see him looking over the Raptors on an invade, potentially looking for something on Ari, but I think he's just going to be happy taking the Fizz's Raptors, and FTQ is already getting a little CS lead opened up on him, not like we saw in the first game, as Ari immediately ults, dashes in, misses the charm, but Flash comes out of Aurora, dash again from the Ari, looking for something, ease away, and Nightmare is going to be able to survive that. This Sion might be under threat once again as K'Sante is dashing in. He's trying to do K'Sante things, but this Jin Zhao, oh, the ult comes out. Jin Zhao turns around and he's like, wait a minute, there's a kill here. He's going to dash in. K'Sante might just be a solo bolo on the Sion, and down goes Juggernaut for his second death of the game. What a play from Ares to just get the push, ult over the wall. And like you said earlier, K'Sante doing K'Sante things at 3-0 at 6 minutes.
Listen, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but Diagons, my friends, it's 16 minutes. It's 6 minutes and 20 seconds into this game, and you guys, I don't know if this is appropriate to say, but your buttholes must be tight, bro, because you guys are in a world of hurt right now. I'm gonna be straight up. K'Sante at 3-0 is not good. Not good for what you want to do. It's not good for keeping your Jhin alive specifically, right? That is your, like, as the game goes on. Okay, here we go. Fizz taken down as well in his own jungle.
Alive.
Yeah, dude, this is not going well.
Yeah, and this all snowballs off of that first flash that Ari expended at level 1. Just dies early, loses the mid pressure. This Aurora is making an impact. 101 is Xin Zhao, dashes in, looking for the stun from Jhin, not able to get it. Nami's running away fast and turning back, looking for a trade, but Zeri and Yuumi are here. Here comes Zeri dashing over the wall. Doesn't have 6 yet for the ult, but just pushing him back, trying to help Jhin Zhao, who gets hit by the bubble into the W. Jhin with the 4-shot. Down goes No Name X as Diagon's MT, the captain, the namesake of the team, picks up the first kill in game 2 in their potential elimination match. And FTQ is looking to follow that momentum. Misses the W, the knockup by Nami on the bubble. There's 4 people here as Zeri dashes in, goes with old Yuumi jumping from person to person. Squirtle trying to do as much as you can. Charm comes down from Ari. Zeri hit the ultimate from Aurora, grabs the kill. Gunner grabs it, going through, grabs the Jhin, double kill for the Zeri. And we're looking at an 8-1 game at 7 minutes. This is kind of more what we were looking at. Man, the tempo of this game is so much different from game 1.
Yeah, I'm honestly, I'm kind of stunned here. That Zeri, I mean, they basically just 2v4 their team, right? I mean, 3v4 if you want to count Yuumi as part of it. Obviously, Yuumi did a buttload of work right there in that fight, but you know me and my opinion. So I'm going to call it a 2.5 versus 4, but essentially that was really scary for the side of Diagons. You thought you had a good play there. You had 4 members of your team there, and then all of a sudden everyone is basically dead.
Oh, as K'Sante goes unstoppable, looking for his 4th kill of the game onto the Sion, able to just hop in his little bus and run out right away. But while we were talking about that fight, Aurora did get killed, went down to the Ari. Eric grabbing his first kill of the game. We see a big CS lead as we might see a dive coming down from the K'Sante, dashes in, gets the unstoppable onto Sion, but then it realizes it's a Sion. You're probably not going to kill him under the tower. Runs right into a Fizz who was on Void Grubs. The ult comes out of Fizz, drops down, and that's a tanky K'Sante at level 8, hits the flash over the wall. Fizz follows with his own, and that might just be a dead K'Sante. No teammate in sight, hits the dash and tries to get to the fruit. Not able to do so, but Void Grub's going to go over on the side of Diagons, and you know, as for how the game started, it was a 4K goal lead. Zeri dashes over, hits the ultimate, bubble misses from Nami. Not really going to be much drop. The exhaust did go down, but in the mid lane, Ari hits the charm onto Nightmare, looking for something. Sion ults down to the bot lane, trying to make a play happen on the Zeri. Misses the, I think it's Fatal Flourish from the Jhin, and this Zeri is just, it's going to get to the point of being a 1v9 eventually if he keeps on scaling like that. He's playing with so much aggression, and Sion just kind of abandoned the top lane for a little bit.
Well, you can play with that much aggression whenever you have Yuumi just eternally inside of your body, making you super tanky, making you really, you know, just be able to jump around and do a ton of damage, also providing her own little bit of poke there. But just look at this. Look at this. Look at, I mean, what are you supposed to do against this?
Yeah, Zeri's still full health. I don't know how many of those shots connected, but you know, it still full health from Zeri. Gotta love Yuumi. Gotta love Squirtle on the Yuumi, doing some good work. Us Zeri mains, we love to see a Yuumi, see them keeping their guy alive, but like we said, this top matchup is just going to be a little bit of a nothing burger now that Scion's getting a little bit of armor, but it's going to be really hard for the rest of the team to deal with this Cassante, who's already a level up and looking to extend that lead a little bit. We do see Xin Zhao on the top side getting spam pinged from the side of Diagons as Ari hits a charm, looking for some good damage onto Nightmare, who actually, Crackhead Eric's really recovered his lane up to this point versus this Ari, up 17 CS in a great spot, but you see on the bottom side, Zeri's up 20 CS. As both junglers are top, nothing's really going to happen up there. But man, you hate to see that. Oh, the good charm comes out of Eric, and he grabs a solo kill onto Nightmare. What a play coming out of the top, the star-studded player of Diagons. Just trying to keep his team in the game, trying to bridge them through to the point where the Fizz is going to be able to one-shot. But man, what are you seeing? What are you kind of thinking about this game so far?
You know, the thing is I kind of said it earlier, you know, the two champions on the side of Eclipse that you really don't want to give over a bunch of kills to is Zeri and Cassante, and we see that now. We see both of them with 3 kills. Both of them are pretty much ahead of their enemy laner. However, like you mentioned, Ari is you know, the star for Diagons. Sometimes that's all you need. You need your star. You need your star to play their best game in order to have an opportunity to win. And he's up 23 CS right now. He's up a kill and playing very well. So what they need to do is really just kind of focus in and hone in on this mid laner, this Ari, you know, the champion that Eric is playing. Like, Fizz keeps showing up. I see him. And we talked a little bit about being in the top lane. We talked about, you know, him roaming down there to the bot side. But really, I think he needs to focus in on this mid lane. It's the one winning lane that he has. And, you know, whenever your lane is winning, in the middle of this, Zeri just goes up. As he just goes under turret with the Yuumi, he takes no damage. Look, he was able to tank like 4 turret shots.
And Fizz also dies into the jungle, man. It's just, I don't know why this Fizz keeps trying to invade the Xin Zhao on Raptors, man. But I mean, we said it before the series. Gunnar is the stud on this team. He's one of the people that if you let him carry a game, he will 1,000,000% carry the game. As he gets hit by the bubble, it looks like Cloud is trying to make a play on this Nami. Drops the tidal wave, but not really much going to happen there if it's just a Nami into a Zeri Yuumi. But man, this can't feel good. You're down 30 CS in bot. You know, Zeri gets a back off. We're going to look at getting towards building. I believe that is going to be not Infinity Edge. Yuntal's arrows next. Got the Hex plate already. She's got that ultimate up every, 50 seconds or whatever. It can't feel good for the bot lane after they did so well mitigating last game to, see a 4-0 ADC on the other side.
Well, the other thing, too, is, like I mentioned before, Ari is kind of like the shining light for the side of Diagons at the moment. The issue is when you look at the team comp for Eclipse, who does Ari kill? Like, when these 5v5 team fights break out, or you don't dive on the Zeri because Zeri has you,
man.
Right? You don't dive on the Zeri, right? You don't dive on the Xin Zhao because you don't want to get CC'd. You don't dive on the Cassante because that's just asking to get punched in the mouth, right? So your only option is to dive on Aurora, who again has a ton of mobility as Gunnar just flashes in and kills Jhin again. Jhin is 1-3. Diagons, unfortunately, man, having a tough game, dude. Just the 5-0 Zeri. 450 gold bounty on that Zeri right now. And man, I don't know what they're going to be able to do to stop this Zeri. They're going to have to rely on this Nami landing some insane bubbles to pretty much prevent Zeri from being in these fights or potentially giving his team the opportunity to blast her early, like the Ari landing a charm. If they can maybe bubble the Zeri and then charm the Zeri, maybe there's an opportunity to get enough damage off to kill the Zeri through the Yuumi, but ultimately, like, I don't know what target everybody is going to look to kill.
Yeah, that's the thing, is if you get onto the Zeri, I mean, you've got a Cassante who's going to probably pull the Ari out. I would imagine that's who he's going to be targeting. You've got a Xin Zhao who's going to keep your Jhin back. It's just rough from the side of Diagons to try and make a play, and this is kind of more what we expected coming into this matchup with, the higher seed coming against the 8 seed who has been struggling through the season, but at least see Juggernaut hitting a little dance for the Cassante. But bot lanes are starting to rotate towards mid. I think there could be an opportunity, like you said, off of an Ari charm, or a Nami bubble, I'd kind of be more looking at the Ari charm. Eric needs to be the playmaker for the team. But kind of something we didn't talk about is there's no real initiation on the side of Diagons. I mean, they've got Jin's Fatal Flourish that can stun someone. It's really Ari charm or Nami bubble. They're gonna struggle with that. I mean, you got Scion ult, but
I was gonna say I think their one main
Yeah.
their one main engage is the Choo Choo Train Scion ult, and I don't know what else they're gonna do. Unless you're waiting on a charm, like you said, a charm or a bubble to land. But if that's the way you're engaging these fights, I think you're gonna be in a whole heck of a lot of trouble.
yeah, speaking of, as the Rift Herald's coming up, a whole lot of trouble. Maybe Scion again, but look, it's just not doing any damage. Forced to ult out, surprisingly. Juggernaut using that ult defensively once again. Not exactly what you want to see out of the Scion. As we see the Zeri hitting the dash over again with the W ults, and Diagon's empty. Diagon's is just not having a fun game right now. He's getting dashed on as Nami also gets brought down on the Jin Zhao. Good tidal wave to keep herself alive, but I don't know how long being alive is going to last. Is she going to blast cone out? Does not. Fizz drops the ultimate on Jin Zhao, but that just ended up might being a dead Fizz. Two-man bubble. I'm counting the Yuumi. I don't care. Two-man bubble coming out of Cloud and able to keep both of them alive, which gotta feel good. But I mean, we were uncertain about the Jin top pick in the draft. At least I was uncertain. I think you were as well. And it's looking about how good you expected it to go.
Yeah. As they take this Herald here, I want to kind of tune into Eclipse's voice comment and see what's going on. As they're playing really well.
Walking
Okay.
down to you.
Oh,
hi.
You ain't completely.
Oh, that's rough. Ah, my bad.
I can't do anything there.
Uh-oh. Wait, the team is...
Okay, and Diagon's just comes back out of
Man.
nowhere and cleans up that fight. I don't know about you guys. I think the problem for that team is just no one's talking. Not a single member was saying anything during that entire team fight.
It's the second game in a row where we've tuned into Eclipse and they've gotten wiped.
Yeah.
That is so unfortunate.
That's Caster Curse at its finest. But dude, the reason they got wiped is because no one's saying anything. Literally nobody was
That is
talking.
true.
I think
No
from this point on,
comms.
we're just gonna have to tap into Diagons, right? They're the
Yeah, it's got to be. And, you know, that's a big fight for them to bring the gold lead back down to 2K. But the main thing that I noticed, you know, when the Jin had the ultimate up, Yuumi was just standing in the pit. He's maybe trying to get vision, you know, something like that. But if you have that much map control, there's no reason why your Jin Zhao should be doing it by themselves, especially after you push them that far off. I just don't see the vision behind that. And apparently they didn't either, which is, you know, I saw an ace go down. So, but you still got a Fed Zeri who's got 2 items working towards it. It's either going to be Mortal Reminder or LDR. I would assume Mortal Reminder, but you never know. And it's still going to be a problem. We saw in the team fight how it's going to work. She got hit by an Ari charm and she died. Just immediately, she got blown up. Zeri's not really a tanky champion. As she dashes over once again, they're looking for this Nami. Scion charges up a Q, doesn't get it. Ult comes down from Zeri, and tidal wave from Nami in response. But here's the Cassante. Ares wraps around, grabs Cloud, and Scion forced once again to use that ult defensively to get away. Dude, Gunnar is playing like an absolute psychopath on this Zeri, and I love it because he knows he's got Squirtle on his shoulder to hide it back. Knockback from Cassante goes unstoppable, grabs the Scion, exhaust comes down from Yuumi, and Squirtle picks up the kill on the Juggernaut. This is a 1-kill Yuumi. Here we go. FTQ picks up Ares in response, and now it's just the Zeri versus the Fizz. And yeah, you know, that's a business decision, FTQ. That is a business decision right there.
Yeah, man, I gotta be honest with you. At this point, this Zeri is just too strong, man. I mean, she is just annihilating anybody who walks up. Like Fizz, like sitting here thinking like, oh my god, look, we have a play. It's Jin and me, and it's a 2v1. But of course, Xin Zhao is here to help play, and they're gonna go in together, and Xin Zhao gonna take that first kill and the second kill, double kill over to Xin Zhao right there. Really, really great. kind of counter engage there as Fizz thought he had an opportunity to maybe take the Zeri and the Yuumi down. Unfortunately for him, Xin Shao was there waiting. Maybe they assumed that Xin Shao was doing the dragon, but unfortunately for them, he was not. He was waiting right there behind the trees, behind the wall there, jumped in and absolutely did what he needed to do, picked up the double kill. Honestly, didn't even need to give it over to Zeri. Zeri's already strong enough. At this point, I think sitting on 3 items. So really no concern there. Great play by Eclipse. And this game right here, why you mentioned that last team fight was really good. They did kind of ace the side of Eclipse. I don't think it really helped them like kind of get back into the game, because right there you saw it. They just immediately re-engaging and they didn't use the advantage that they got. They I don't know if it's like we mentioned, it's that hero play or whatnot. As we see a great flash by Ahri, Aurora unfortunately does get hit by the charm, so Fizz is going to be able to jump in and get the shutdown gold over to himself. Probably smart, because he is down on CS, down 76 CS compared to the Ahri, so probably needed that gold.
Yeah, that is a big shutdown going over to your Fizz, who now has 4 kills. He's got his Dusk and Dawn. He's got Nashor's Tooth. I mean, this Fizz will eventually be able to assassinate whoever it is. And my concern is if Zeri does what Zeri's been doing and just dashing over into people, even with the new changes on her E, like the cooldown's still got to be at least 8, maybe 10 seconds. That's time enough for a charm to land, for the Fizz to get on top of you. That is something that we could be looking at potentially as a way in for Diagon. They do have the Jhin CC on top of the follow-up for the rest of the team, but like you said, man, Zeri's fed. Also, I don't want you spreading your jungler propaganda. They absolutely should have given the kill to Zeri. This is an ADC main. I'm triggered. Oh, as he dashes over Yuumi ult on the far side, but we're watching K'Sante just 1v3ing and being perfectly fine. Ult comes down from Zeri. Sion is tanky, but is he tanky enough? Gets the 2-man knockup. Jin Zhao comes down with the knockback, and Eevee Nightmare picks up the first kill. Zeri dashing on over the wall. Double kill going over to Nightmare, and Sion is just trying to fight as the double kill on the far side goes over to Gunnar. Juggernaut grabs Nightmare in response with the Sion passive, but man, this is a rough one. We saw a crazy team fight, the fist bump going up in response, and man, like we said, they're not going to be able to coordinate a team fight with this Xin Zhao, with the K'Sante, and Zeri just doing Zeri things, dashing right on over, picking up a double kill, and it was a good response. It was a good attempt from the side of Diagon, but now it's looking like it's going to be a Baron for Eclipse.
The problem is exactly what we kind of said earlier, is who is dealing the damage on the side of Diagon? The only reliable output of damage they have right now in this moment is Fizz, right? Because Ahri, who are you attacking? You're not getting onto Zeri. Like, even if you do charm Zeri, Yuumi is there to kind of keep keep him from dying or keep him from taking too much damage. You're obviously not going to try to charm the Xin Shao or the K'Sante, so your only option, like I said, is the Aurora. And who cares, right? Even if you do land a charm on Aurora, who cares? Zeri is all over your backline, all over your Jhin, all over your Nami, just absolutely annihilating them. And we saw it right there. Zeri got into the backline, jumped through the turret, didn't even care, and just annihilated everybody. So yeah, like you said, man, I just think it's a little bit too late for the side of Diagons at this point. It's only 23 minutes in, though, and we have seen some of these games get extended. We have seen some of these games take 40, 45 minutes as we see a TP come in here in the mid lane, but I don't know if that's going to happen here.
Yeah, as TP comes in, Fizz is looking for a wraparound, has the ult, doesn't get anybody. We see the ult from Aurora to get out the Jhin coming over the top, but there is just no damage. Gunnar's on a killing spree. That's his third. He dashes over the wall, grabs 2, grabs 3. That's a triple kill for the Zeri. Going for 4, looking for Nami. Zion passive chasing him, grabs the quadra kill. Gunnar 11-1, putting this team on his back and putting Diagon's hopes for the rest of this season to rest. Lower bracket. Game 2, this is looking like a 2-0 for Eclipse, and I think you might be looking at Gunnar wanting to get the delayed pentakill, as Fizz is just kind of walking around. He can't do much into the 5-man team of Eclipse. He's trying to make a play happen, looking for something. Unstoppable by K'Sante, dash in from Gunnar, looking for something, dodges the Aurora combo. Pentakill comes out of Gunnar in the lower bracket. Fizz does grab the Xin Zhao in response, but that is what a way to end the season of Diagon's. Pentakill over to Eclipse from Gunnar, and man, that Zeri ran the entire game, just like we were worried about with the Jhin pick. And that's got to be a tough way to go out at the end of the season for Diagon's, but that Zeri, man. Gunnar got going.
Dude, that was an incredible game by Gunner. Look, that was a 24-minute and 27-second game. In that kind of a game, I wouldn't imagine anyone did any more than maybe 20, 25,000 damage. Zeri put out 33k damage in that game. Or 34k really in that 24-minute, 27-second game. Put out 34,000 damage. 26 kills over to the side of them, 12 and 1 on the Zeri, man. That dude is nuts. And here's the thing. We kind of said it before this series that, Eclipse was sort of the favorite. They all season long, they were a pretty good team. We kind of knew that they were going to take this series, whether it was going to be 2-0 or 2-1, or if they were going to be close games. We weren't 100% sure. But here's the thing. Eclipse all season was in second place. And then at the end of the season, they had an unfortunate situation with some players. They had to forfeit a game, and then they lost their last game of the split. And then in round one, they got matched up against, I think it was Yumi's Doms. Let me make sure I'm not right, because I had this story in my head. And if I'm wrong, then this story that I'm about to tell you guys is completely pointless to tell you. Yes, I was right. They did play Yumi's Dom. And here's the thing about Yumi's Doms. For anyone who knows me in the preseason rankings, I actually had Yumi's Doms and Big Backs as the two favorites to win the entire thing. And it was Yumi's Doms had a tough regular season. They lost a couple of matches they probably shouldn't have lost because of some roster, people not available and those kind of things. So at this point, I kind of have to imagine that, Eclipse, despite losing to Yumi's Doms, if I was in the lower bracket and I had to match up against them, I would be terrified.
Yeah, man. And the winner of this matchup moves through Diagon, or not Diagons. Eclipse moves through to the next round, facing off against the loser of Circa 22 and Soup Kitchen. I think that'll be a good game, but like you said, man, Yumi's Doms and Big Backs are playing in round 2, and that's going to be a good game as well. Diagon did put up a good fight in that game 1. Unfortunately, got ran over a little bit in the game 2, but Eclipse is exciting, man. I think that this could be your favorite to make it through from the lower bracket. We'll have to see how they face off with Big Backs if Yumi's Doms manages to get the better of them. But even in the games of Eclipse versus Yumi's, it was close. It was high kill, high octane. It was fun to watch. So I'm excited moving forward of who we're going to see come out of this lower bracket.
Okay, I have to be honest with you. In the middle of that, I took Mega's advice and I jumped into the ETS and Mid Never had Scrims game going on. I don't know if you want to stick around and cast with me, Nemo, or not, but I guess we can take a look at this game at the very least and see where this series is. Never hurts to jump in and see where a series is at. That last one.
Oh, I'm here, man.
So let me just see. Let me go back and see if I can figure out where they are at. I don't know if this is game 1. Yeah, this has got to be game 1, right? Yeah, this is just game 1. So we're here. We're smack dab in the middle of the series, and here we go.
Baby.
We're not going to miss too much. I mean, we missed 16 minutes and 46 seconds. We missed 25 good kills. But I don't know, Nemo. Are you set up? Are you ready to go? Do we need to take a little break before we jump in?
I am so ready to go. As we're looking at Setsunai spacing on this Ashe, following down the mark on the Scion. There's we love seeing the Ashe get going and get running. 15 minutes or 17 minutes in, 15-12 with an exactly even gold lead. But one thing we're looking at on the red team is that's MNAS. What's the full version of that? MNAS?
That is Mid Never at Scrims.
Mid's Never at Scrims is up 2 Drakes to 0, but that's going to be a response coming out from ETS, grabbing their first of the game. Well, I don't know much about these teams, but Monstar, I think you might know a little more than I do. What are we thinking about this matchup?
Yeah, absolutely. I do know a good bit about both of these teams, and here's what I know. All right, the first thing is both of these teams are using E-Sub, so that's one important thing to note. All right, so for the side of ETS, that is the blue side. We have Appler. I don't know what his name is. He's in the top lane. He's playing the Ornn right now. As we see a little engage here on the Victor. Victor down below half HP. Victor dead. Picked up by the Zed for the side of ETS. Again, we have Silas in the jungle there. That is Anthony on the jungle lane there. And Bayrion by Yiren. I don't know how to pronounce Bayrion. Again, I don't know how to pronounce Bayron, exactly. He's on the Zed. That is their E-Sub. And of course, for all of you who are fans of the archives and have been around the archives for a minute, we have Setsunai on the ADC. That guy is an absolute monster. And Tomato King in the support, of course, mid never at scrims on the other side there. E-sub is Namarka in the top lane. And of course, their regular roster, Dennis Rodman playing the Xin Shao, Dory on the Victor, Minecraft on the Ezreal, and Starlight, Laura on the Seraphine. So we do have ETS against mid never at scrims, ETS on the blue side if you didn't follow all that rambling I just did, and mid never at scrims on the red side. Both of these teams qualified for the playoffs. Out of 12 teams, 13 teams, 14 teams, how many ever teams it was, these were the top 8. So it's not like any of these teams are bad. However, mid never at scrims is the 8 seed, and ETS came on so strong. They won like 5 series in a row during the regular season after starting like 0-1 or 0-2. So this team is not to be trifled with. They are a scary team. They are a problem. But mid never at scrims also not some team to overlook. A team that's been around our community for quite some time. They played in our previous split. They played in a tournament we did before our previous split as well. So we know that these players are quality. We know that they can win. We know that they're strong. We've seen them do it before, so it's not like they're out of this tournament. And if you look right now, the current state of the game, they're not that far behind. They're down 400 gold, but they're up a dragon. And Victor right here is looking really strong. Sion in the top lane looking really strong. So I'm curious to see kind of what happens here as this game progresses.
Yeah, and I was looking back through. So we saw Akasha play K5 yesterday, and both these teams took both of those teams to 3 games. So it's not like it was stomps, and both of those teams are very, very good. They're honestly, this upper division is pretty close overall. As we see Silas steal the ult of Ezreal, give him a bit of a taste of his own medicine right back at him. But there's a collapse coming in, and Silas is on the run. That is Anthony. You said Anthony is on the run away from Dory, who's pushing forward on the Victor. TP comes in from Zed, who manages to just shadow his way right on out. Dash comes on in. Yora picks up the kill on Setsunai. Ornhorn down, gets a 4-man knock, but at this point, they're on the escape. They're on the run. ETS has to back off a little bit after losing their ADC, and looks to be most of their damage. Setsunai sporting a nice 4-0 before just getting his first death of the game. I'm excited. This looks like it's a high octane, high kills. I'm ready to go, man. And it looks like the E-subs for both teams are doing really well. You've got 8-4 on Bayron, and Namarka is sitting at 4-0 on the Sion. A bit different from the Sion that we saw in our earlier game, but man, I'm excited for this. I think this will be good. The winner of this game is going to face off with Genimod. The loser of this game, their season is over. So we could potentially be looking at the game 1. So the last series of one of these team seasons.
Yeah, that is true. Oh, I didn't even mention that in my introduction. You're so smart, man. This is an elimination match, dude. One of these teams is going to end their season right here, right now. This is game 1, I believe. I could be wrong, but I'm like 99% sure this is game 1. Mr. Jack Player in the chat, man. I will give you an analysis of every roster in the middle division if you would like. Maybe in some slow points of this game, or maybe after the game, so we can look at the pick'ems. For those of you watching and haven't done your pick'ems, it's probably too late to do round 2. I'm going to be transparent with you, but nonetheless, the pick'ems do exist, so you can always jump in at the end of round 2 and start on the round 3 games. There is a $10 cash prize for the winners of that, up to 3 winners. If there's more than 3 winners, we'll split $30 amongst all of the winners. So, shout out to Mega for putting
As we're
that stuff
speaking,
together.
Ornhorn comes down. They're looking for a fight mid. Sion goes unstoppable, looking for Setsunai on the edge. Ezreal ult follows. But in the backline, Zed is just eliminating his Ezreal, flashes out. He's going to die. Namarka kills Bayron. Charm comes down from the Seraphine, but then they fall. Bayron doing work in the backline. Look at Ash just kiting around. Xin Zhao trying to get in on this Ash. Victor with the flash.
Oh, and the Victor!
Dory grabs it. Dory grabs, looking for a double kill on the backline, grabs it. Look at how big that Victor ultimate is with the double kill, looking for a triple. Ornn doing the most they can. Apolar holding them off so his Silas can get away. Silas gonna hit the back. Ornn might just be giving up his life, but Namarka chasing, grabs the flash, and look at Dory Dory smells blood. Dory smells something. Dory's looking. Just keep walking. Just keep walking. And Namarka leading the way. Apollo trying to get out. I think he will. I think he's a little bit too tanky, but they're going for the dive. They said there's no way he goes unstoppable. Eats the Scion Q, but I think Namarka going to grab their 6th kill of the game, and that was a huge flash. But Silas is here. Anthony looking for something. Picks up the Scion. They're looking for the first kill. Zed. Victor goes golden. Zed ultimate out on Scion. Anthony picks up the kill onto Dory and grabs a double kill on the Silas. And does Zed things and just shadows right on out. He is free. But first death of the game for Namarka, and a double kill going over to Anthony on the Silas as this Drake is up. Looks like Mid Never at Scrims might be forced to give it up as they're clearing vision for it. But man, that was a lot. But I think there's still more to go. Ash zoning, Setsunai, blast cone in from Dennis Rodman right into an Ash arrow. Setsunai grabs him, and that might just be a dead Zao. Great ultimate, but Bayron picks up the kill, and I think that is going to be the second Drake going over to the side of ETS as Silas looks for something. Ezreal dashes away, and man, that was a mouthful.
Yeah, absolutely insane sequence there. Great job on your part, man, for putting the play-by-play in action. As what was that, an extended minute and a half worth of action that just happened?
Something like that.
Yeah,
Something
dude, that
like
was insane.
man.
That was insane. And I think what we saw there was, when we first jumped in, Mid Never at Scrims looked like they were maybe making some plays, they were making some comebacks, and it seems like ETS was able to kind of stimmy the tide of that comeback, right? It was relatively, I think it was about a 1 or 2K gold lead, and it's still about a 2K gold lead now. So I think they were able to kind of stymie the tide of Mid Never at Scrims kind of coming back into the game there. Of course, the issue for the side of ETS, for the blue side right now, is this Victor is just so incredibly strong. Zed, though, being able to get Victor down to below half HP, but then just gets stunned. Oh my god, it gives us life. Just deleted him.
Yeah. Dory is playing absolutely out of their mind on this Victor. And the one thing about that fight is Apollo managed to buy enough time for Anthony to get back on the Silas. And yeah, this is kind of a nothing for Sion and Ornn. I think Sion, doing a little more damage to the Ornn than the vice versa, but that's what you need to do. You need to delete this Zed. You can't let him just do what Zed does, because Bayron, he grabbed the double kill in the earlier fight, but if you don't give him time, if you're on this Victor, then you can just wipe him out. And I bet your Ezreal Seraphine feels so safe whenever that Zed is not on the Rift.
Yeah, I think one big problem for ETS in this game is that eventually Zed kind of just disappears from the game, right? Like, eventually he's just not a champion anymore, and he's really not like that scary for the Ezreal, especially, who kind of jump around and kite around and do a really good job of that. As we see Silas and Ornn engage on this Sion here, and of course he's just
gonna
walk away.
Chase, man. That's funny.
But anyway, back to what I was saying. I don't know. The Zed obviously being 10-6 is great, but eventually this Zed is going to fall off, and Victor is just going to be so strong as Silas and Ornn go back in again on the Sion. They're probably going to pick up the 2v1 kill. Great job of just hunting that Sion down. They did not stop the whole time I was talking. They just kept chasing him. The directed camera swing us around.
On the other side, Bayron grabs a kill. The Ash arrow sending an early death over to Dory. Double kill for the Zed. Bayron getting something. Setsunai picks up Minecraft 1, 2, 3. Ezreal goes down. It's just Xin Zhao versus the world. And Xin Zhao, Dennis Rodman does not like those odds. Double kill for Setsunai. 4 dead. The entire team dead for Mid Never at Scrims. And ETS has a wonderful turn that all begins by the Silas and Ornn hunting that Sion, not letting him out. And on the other side, just like you said, Bayron, on the Zed, eventually he will fall off. Eventually is not right now. He is making such an impact with this pick, and Setsunai with the arrows is always on point.
Dude, the thing is, right, they just keep dominating these team fights. Zed will never fall off, right? Because they're just continuing to dominate. They're continuing to get further and further ahead. And in order for that moment of time where Zed to fall off comes, it may be at 50 minutes into the game, and by that point, like you mentioned in the last series, 50 minutes into this game, you're going to be so far behind, it's not going to matter.
Yeah, 100%. And at this point, ETS is starting to pull away a little bit. We're seeing a 7K gold lead come out, but you still got 2 Drakes on the side of Mid Never at Scrims. Your Victor is still strong. He's still putting out damage. And like you said, Zed eventually, as long as you don't just keep feeding him kills, Zed will fall off eventually. and that Victor is only going to keep getting stronger. As I'm very, very curious, very pleased to see the Silas jungle pick going so well for Anthony. I don't know if he's normally a Silas player, but man, he is making that pick look beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, Silas, one of those champions that I think a lot of players who play League of Legends ban pretty consistently, right? It's just one of those champions you don't want to see in your game, especially when you have a lot of ults. But here we go. Big engage.
Yep. Silas goes golden. The Ornhorn comes out, gets a double knockup, but I think Anthony might be dead. Jin's out. Double knockup from the Ornn. Silas is dominating. Picks up the kill onto Dennis Rodman. Double kill over for Anthony. And Zed is in the backline, just eliminating the Ezreal. Minecraft123 is probably saying to himself, I hate this champ. I'm so glad it's gone. And there goes the victor as well. Dory following suit. And like we said, Silas is just not a champ that you want to see, especially not a 10-4, 700 gold bounty Silas. And looks like ETS is pushing down this mid lane. They could be looking for end. Only Starlight Laura up, looking to stop them. But, I mean, if you're just a lonely Seraphine, you got 14 seconds on your Xin Zhao. Is this game? Setsuna says that it is. The Zed ult in on the Seraphine, and that Seraphine might just be dead. The ult comes out, and Silas grabs the kill. That is going to be game one. 29 minutes, 33-18. ETS sweeps them up.
Wow. Well, we came in at the back half of it, but hey, we got to see a ton of action. ETS absolutely dominated I would say the action that we saw, though, minus that first team fight we saw. Mid-Never at Scrims kind of get the better of when Victor got that nice flank on the backside. Other than that, that was tough.
Yeah, man. I mean, like you said, the Zed, the two characters you don't want to see get going, this Zed, this Silas, 34,000 damage, almost the most damage in the game by 10,000. Oh, actually, no, Sion did 31. But from the other damage dealers, this Zed for Bayron. Honestly, if I'm the backline of Mid-Never at Scrims, I am just thankful the Zed is gone.
Yeah, dude. Well, no, the Zed. I mean, the Zed and the Silas, man. Now you can safely lock in that Malphite that you should be playing. Everyone should be playing in every game, anyways. If you know anything about me, you know you should be playing Malphite. Oh my goodness, I just realized something very important. Hold on, you guys. We need to do a little swap of Rooney here. Can't believe nobody called me out on this. Okay, that is still the wrong screen. I don't know what I'm doing, you guys. Apparently, I don't know how to produce. I apologize.
I think you've done great if that's anything.
Okay, so, my bad. Anyway, back to the action. I'm gonna see if I can find a draft link here. Setsuna, look at my man Setsuna must be watching the stream. Shout out to you, man, for inviting me to the lobby. I don't even have to find the tournament code. That's what friends are for, guys. You help each other out, you support each other, you do things to make things easier on folks. So shout out to them. Look, he's DMing me the draft. I love this guy. Love this guy.
Great guy.
What a great guy. Okay, let me pull up game 2 here. Let me get into the draft. I will switch my screen over to the draft screen. Let's see. I will take this off. Here we go. Switching over. There we go. Okay. I don't know if the teams are ready to start the draft just yet. So we're going to take a slight break. We literally finished the last series, and then we jumped right into this series. Very little break. I think Nemo probably needs to get a drink. I probably need to get a drink. We probably need a moment. And it looks like the teams are going to switch sides anyway, switch picks. So give me just a moment, guys. We're going to take a moment's break, and we will be back. All right, guys, we are back. Here we are. You got Mr. Monstar here, as you guys know. If you're still tuning in, we transitioned from a middle division elimination game into an upper division elimination game between Mid Never Had Scrims, as you can see on your screen here on the blue side, and ETS Esports on the red side. We saw game one. We saw the finish. We saw the back half. We jumped in at about minute 15, minute 16, and they finished at only 30 minutes. ETS Esports Mid-Never Scrims. It was a bloodbath. It was a brawl, back and forth, nonstop action is what it was, to be honest with you. And I think we're going to probably see something very similar here in the second game. Both of these teams kind of known for that. Setsunai from ETS Esports, one of the best ADCs in our league, one of the best ADCs we've seen in our league. Either last split, this split, any tournament. The dude is a monster. Whatever you guys want to call it, he's awesome, and that man loves to fight. He loves to get kills. Great with his spacing, great at staying alive as well. So KDAs are always really nice. So really, really excited to see this game too. The draft has not started yet. Actually, as I said that it started. But quick note, I am here with my boy Nemo still. However, unfortunately, I have to step away for just some time. So I have brought in a subcaster for us, Mr. Pino. Those of you who have watched some other streams of us before know that he's been around some time. My man is a professional yapper, so unfortunately, I do have to attend to some family matters. It happens. I was not expecting to play 2 series here. I will still be here producing the games. I will make sure that things look pretty and things are set up for you guys, but I will be letting these two do the yapping for the rest of this time. So, Pino, my man, are you here? Are you ready? I don't know. I saw you jump in. I don't know if you're actually ready. You said 5 minutes. It's been 2 minutes.
Yeah,
So.
no. I'm ready. I was just finishing up a game of League. It was an ace on mid. Fun game.
All right, well, the draft is going on, guys, so we're gonna let you guys tune into that. Here we go, Pino and Nemo. Thank you guys so much. Stream, cast, chat. I love you guys. We'll see you guys very soon.
All right,
Alrighty.
Nemo. How's it going? You ready to do some casting for game two?
Man, we hopped into this game, and when I tell you, without not even 30 seconds of us hopping in, there was a team fight, and then not even 2 minutes later, there was a team fight, and it just kept on fighting, kept on picking. It was absolutely ridiculous watching these two teams go back and forth and back and forth. And honestly, the game ended too soon. I wanted to see more blood, but you know how it goes. So I guess
I do.
yeah, I guess the question comes up with what are you thinking about this draft so far? What do you think about the bands? We see the Smolder.
You have to do Smolder ban, especially if you're red side because you don't want blue side to get that first pick Smolder, right? Nocturne, great ultimate to get out of there. That's mainly why a lot of people like playing Nocturne. His ultimate is just so good in a lot of these comps. We have Rumble, who's also really good at if you land that ultimate, very deadly. We got Aatrox, who's the king of top lane. That's what I like to call him because he's so he gets a lead and he can just dominate every single lane from then on, and he's just unkillable if he gets that lead. We got Katarina, who's also the queen of let me get 1 or 2 kills and I'll dominate this whole entire game. And then we got Lulu out of here. These are all phenomenal bans for both sides. And we're starting off with Nico first and Braum. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, to cut in on this Yanara Braum sub and mid, so I don't know how their normal dynamic looks, but their team kind of runs out of bot. Setsunai was the one who initiated a lot of those fights on the Ashe, hitting the Ashe arrow. That's how they engaged. So ETS plays through Setsunai. As Monstar said, he's probably the best ADC in the division, one of the best that we've seen in the league so far. So it's smart that they're going to take a high octane pick like the Yanara, give him the ability to all in people whenever he says it's time to go. But the response of Lucian Nico into this Braum pick, well, I guess Nico was first, but the response of Lucian, what do you feel about this Lucian Yanara bot lane matchup?
In all honesty, Lucian, if he can get those right angles where you get past that Braum shield, can easily pick off that Yanara. If that Braum isn't positioning right, he can also not block both Nico and Lucian. And if they come from both sides, it's hard for Braum to really block everything, right? Nico not only has the potential to stay bot lane and cost mayhem bot lane, but she has that great potential to roam. And now we are following it up with Wukong and Malphite. What are your thoughts on those two?
Yeah, man, we saw the Wukong earlier, and he had played a great early game, which normally you kind of want Wukong to wait till he gets 6 before you start making plays. But speaking of waiting for to hit 6, we see a Malphite that's picked, and based on Mid Never at Scrim's next ban being Viego, I'd like to assume this is either a Malphite top or a Malphite mid, as both sides are taken out. We got a Jax and Gangplank coming from ETS, while Mid Never at Scrim's banned to Viego, and we're about to see who their second band's going to be. I think this will be a little more telling of where that they think that Malphite's going to go. But the Malphite matchup in top is kind of just a nullifier. Like, he's not going to lose lane really hard in top ever. He's got that great team fight. Okay, a LeBlanc ban. So they think that the Malphite's going to go top, which is kind of probably the right assumption. But Malphite's not a pick you see a ton if they lock into Lilia. Okay, tell me about this Lilia pick.
Lilia is so great, especially with the Deathfire touch being so prominent right now in all these games. So this new season, since League has brought out Deathfire touch, has been phenomenal for a lot of these junglers that were struggling, that got their items nerfed, that lost their power, are able to make a comeback now because of Deathfire touch. It's just so good at keeping that burn on champions. And might be a Wukong top lane. It could also be a Olaf top lane. I'm not 100% certain, but those two are really good at keeping that Malphite down if he is top lane.
Yeah, 100%. And the assumption has to go that it's going to be Olaf top. I don't know how Olaf. I guess he can ult the slow that Malphite gives you on his Q, but I don't know, man. Olaf. Oh, okay. And then we're just locking Cassidy. Okay. so
That's
camps you
such a
don't
great
see a
pick.
lot, man. We got the Cassidon, we've got the Olaf on the other side. You got the Lilia jungle. I'm curious to see what ETS responds to Cassidon in mid with. I know Cassidon used to be really broken. Can't say I see him much in my games. What do you need to get this Cassidon rolling?
Well, right now, I'm looking at both teams and I'm just like, okay, we have the early game, we have the mid game, and we have the late game from mid never scrims or mid never at scrims. So they have everything throughout the whole entire game to scale really, really good. They also are, from the looks of it, they, sorry, he covered the draft.
No, you're all good. You're all good. What are you looking at specifically?
Oh, ETS esports. So esports over here, they have such a great front to back comp. They have everything they need. They have the Malphite engage, the Lilia peeling and ult. They have the Braum peel and possible engage. They have the Yanara damage and the Yone damage. They have a lot of potential to go in and start these fights at their own whims. Whereas Mid Never at Scrims has to rely on either Nico or Wukong to start those fights.
Yeah, and when what you're talking about makes sense with ETS. Like, you're engaging with this Malphite, and you've got Yone to follow up behind. You've got the Lily asleep. And Braum, even to protect this Yanara, he's gonna have his work cut out for him going into Wukong, Olaf, and Nico. That dive, it's gonna just be which ADC is able to put out the most damage before they inevitably get 3-man ulted or 3 ults thrown their way. I think generally ETS has an easier time of getting to their target. Olaf doesn't have something that he can immediately get onto Yanara or get onto Yone, anything with. Wukong kind of does with the clone, but overall, man, I think ETS has them a really solid, really good draft. While Mid Never at Scrims, it could be comfort, some, things that they like to play, but I think that they've made it a little bit more difficult execution wise for themselves. So that brings me up to the question. ETS is up 1-0 in this elimination game in the lower bracket. Who are you picking, are you thinking this is going to go to a game 3, or do you think this will be a swift 2-0 from ETS?
In all honesty, I would have to say there is a very huge possibility that Mid Never at Scrims does make that win simply because they got a lot of things going for them. They got the Wukong, Lucian, Nico trio combo, right? Where if they all stick together, they can cause mayhem wherever. They got the Olaf that can consistently split and draw so much pressure. He is very hard to, just shut down too because of his ultimate. He also has a lot of potential to just run at your whole entire team. With the amount of CC that you have, it's not going to stop that Olaf. And that Cassidy is very, very good at being able to catch out those backliners. Not to mention, the AP that they have is Lilia Malphite, and Yunara does do some AP, so Cassidy is good here. Now, my biggest issue with both teams is whoever gets the advantage early on will be able to start dominating, right? I'm looking
Yeah.
at both teams. It's literally a 50-50 coin flip right here. Whoever messes up the most will, in fact, lose this game.
Yeah, I think in these team fights, it comes down to these ADCs. Like, can Setsunai space it out well enough where he doesn't get caught by this Wukong if he doesn't get caught by the Nico ult? It all comes down to which ADC can stay alive the longest, because one's gonna have a Malphite flinging at him with the Braum ult, Yone coming in over the top, Lilia asleep. The other one's got Wukong, Nico, Olaf coming to try and get him. It comes down to these ADCs for me, and Setsunai has proven that he is one of the best. And I don't think that the comp with the Kassadin, Kassadin's not really going to be much of a character until he gets level 11, till he hits level 16. Once he can start spamming that ult, that dash, and I think it'll be rough, man. My pick for this game too is going to be ETS, but we'll have to wait and find out.
I see Mid never at Scrims, their idea and what they can possibly do. But who knows? I might get proven wrong, right? Now, I know we're still waiting on spectators delay. Let's take a quick, minute, get everything set up, and we'll see everybody in the Rift.
Minions have spawned.
All right, everybody, we are here. We are back. Game 2, elimination game coming down to it. ETS Esports versus Mid Never at Scrims. If you weren't here, ETS grabbed game 1. It was a pretty good showing, pretty bloody, lots of fighting. And just to go through it, we've got ETS on the red side, Apollo, or we got Anthony in jungle, piloting the Lilia, Bayron and Esub on the Yone in mid, Setsunai and Tomato King taking up the bot lane. While on the blue side, for Mid Never at Scrims, you've got Namarka, who is an Esub, filling in top on the Olaf. You got Dennis Rodman playing jungle, Dory in the mid lane on the Kassadin, which is a pick we don't see very often, and Minecraft123 and Starlight Laura bringing up the bot lane. I'm excited. I know Pino's excited. We're here. We're
Yep.
ready to go, as we already see a lot of fighting going down. I know we kind of talked about it a little bit in draft, but for each team, what are you kind of looking at being the point of emphasis?
Well, I really think this bot lane is going to be the aggro, the one we're going to have a lot of action going.
Okay.
And
Okay.
in all honesty, I think what's going to happen is it's going to be a jungle diff. Whichever jungler is able to respawn first and get these bot laners ahead will dictate how the game's going to progress and what side's going to be favorable.
Yeah, 100%. And last game we saw Anthony on the Silas, who did exactly what you said. He kind of took the game over. Him and him and Apolor out of the top lane kind of just took over the game. They were being super tanky, letting Bayron and Setsunai kind of just do the damage in the back. But one thing we are already seeing is this Yone, who normally has a really weak laning phase, is only really outdone by the Kassadin's weak laning phase. So it's going to be rough for Dory trying to mitigate what this Yone can do and what Bayron can do, because last game he went crazy on the Olaf, or as we see Olaf flashing away, flashing in, grabs the first blood. Namarka does die to tower, so it's a trade, but already a lot of aggression, as we were saying.
Yeah, no, and that's beautiful. 1-for-1, Olaf getting that first blood gets a little bit of extra gold. Malphite is going for some health here instead of some armor, which, in my opinion, I think armor is a little bit better than health. But that's just top lane speaking from experience.
Yeah, 100%. As we see a fight going on over this bot scuttle, Wukong is going to grab that. And Anthony, you might just be out of luck on this Lilia. Wukong with a little bit more early pressure than the Lilia. And like you said, this is going to come down to a jungle matchup and how well these ADCs can play, how well they can keep these dives off of them, as Bayron's still just looking to keep the lane dominance, already up 10 CS over Dory, and looking like there might be something on a top scuttle contest. Dennis Rodman just kind of hanging out in mid. I don't think he's going to contest that one.
Now, here's the question: is the wave is pushing into the Malphite? So yeah, that's an easy game for Lilia.
Yeah, there's the gank. Lilia just letting them know, hey, Olaf, you can't just have free reign. I'm going to show up. And Namarka deciding he doesn't care as we see a fight going down in the bot lane. Some poke going down, but Lilia is aggressing on this Olaf. Namarka looking for something. Power shots coming down as Wukong is here. The flash out of Dennis Rodman picks up his first kill of the game. Down goes Anthony on this Lilia 0-1-0. And early game so far, it's looking pretty good for Mid Never at Scrims. They're open up about an 800 gold lead. In the bot lane, it's looking good. Setsunai down 11 CS already. Things going really well for Mid Never at Scrims.
I agree, and that counter gank from Wukong was beautifully done. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Like, he followed up at the perfect time. He even dropped his camp to be able to follow up with that game. And
speaking
it
of
looks
dropping
like
camps, looks like Lilia is coming back for round 2, coming back for seconds on her plate, looking like Namarka might have overstayed his welcome. It looks like that's going to be the first kill back for Lilia. And what is it with you top laners and just staying in lane past when you should? Kassadin takes a lot of damage, but Bayron has to snap back eventually. And yeah, first kill over to the Lilia as the ult comes down from Yone. Bayron looking for the solo bolo. Kassadin, not level 6, dodges the knockup, but I think he is just going to fall. Bayron grabs his first kill of the game, and so far, pretty dominant from the Yone. He's looking for more, potentially looking for a Raptor, smited away from the Wukong. Yeah, that's just a level 6 advantage for the Yone. Immediately uses it when Kassadin doesn't have his ultimate up, and yeah, just a free kill in mid.
Yeah, no, and Kassadin does have a hard time versus a lot of the AD mid laners. So, because he's known as the AP counter.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I'm just looking at this fight. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, no, you're all good. Looks like an Ignite comes down onto Lucian. Yanara going all in, gets her Q stacked. She is enlightened, but Nico pressing up. Starlight Laura looking for something onto Setsunai, but Tomato King's going to get back, hits the slow onto them, but Lilia is searching. Lilia is looking for something. Unstoppable comes down out of Namarka on the Olaf, looking for something on this Malphite. Not really going to happen. He's a little bit too tanky, but man, lots of fighting. As I told you, this game's been pretty tightly contested. Gold lead is even at about 6 minutes in. If you're on the side of Mid-Never Screams, you've got a Kassadin, you've got an Olaf, you're kind of pretty happy with the game state as of right now, being completely even at 6 minutes.
Oh, I agree. Even though they may be down a kill, it's wonderful right now because what you want is you want that time to scale, right? And you're gonna get that time to scale.
As the roof comes down, Lucian forced to flash out. Yanara has to use the barrier to stay alive, but man, that Nico pick looks good. Malphite looking for a trade with Olaf. Lots of fighting down. I apologize for interrupting you, but man,
no, you're fine.
there's a lot.
That's the thing. It's when they're fighting, it has to be casted. It has to be said what's happening, and the camera's just like everywhere.
Yeah, man. That Nico hit a really good root, double root on the bot lane, and Minecraft 123 tried to follow up, just not enough damage yet. Forces the barrier out of Setsunai, but that's the thing is, if Nico hits one root, this Lucian early does enough damage to be able to. Oh, as the ult comes out, the dash from Lucian, flash from Bayron is going to grab the kill onto the Lucian. Down goes Minecraft 123. Yone picks up his second kill as Malphite forced to ult away. Trade of ultimates. Olaf still chasing, grabs the flash out of Malphite, who still hasn't used Ignite. I wonder why. And Nico is trying to keep this Yone off tower. Man, it cannot feel good to see a 2-0-0 Yone, especially who grabs the kill after the bot lane of them backs. But there's a TP coming in. Kassadin looking for something on this Yone. He's going to see it come over. Olaf and Malphite having a meathead fight in the bot lane, or in the top lane. Namarka grabs the kill on the Polar and dives too. So Wukong comes and cleans up the Yone after the TP from Kassadin. Nice second kill coming out of Dennis, but once again, another trade in the top lane. So 2-3-1 for Namarka, 2-2-1 for Apolor. Namarka finally seeing the gray screen after he only had, I think, 1 or 2 deaths the entirety of game 1. And that's going to be first Drake going over to the side of ETS.
Wait. It looks like Wukong's looking to... No, he's going to give it. I thought they were going to contest it or look for a steal there. That would have been wonderful to see. But I'm looking at Wukong's smite. It is down right now.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. And it's bloody. It's exciting. It's an even gold game. 9 minutes in. Oh, you got to count your minions. Nico grabs the root, grabs the Q. Yone goes to Tatch. He's looking for this Kassadin, gets the knockup. The dash away from Kassadin. And this Yone might just be too strong at this point to grab a kill without 4 people like you had earlier. Looks for the knockup again. Dory wants it. Dashes in. Hits him. Dies to Bayron, but the Nico is here. Flashes in. Grabs the kill. Starlight Laura shuts down this Yone, who's 3-2-0, but that can't feel good going over to your support and not to your Kassadin. But at this point, isn't it more just happy that you get the kill on this Yone?
Oh, yeah. That's the other thing. On Nico will be able to start doing a lot more things around the map. And like I said, you got to count those minions. He can do those roams that are very, very deadly and can change a lot of those lane outcomes.
Yeah, man, and these top laners are just going at it. I've never seen it pan up the top where there wasn't something going down. This Olaf is playing super aggressive onto Malphite, but Lilia is posturing into that top jungle. It looks like she might be looking at some Void Grubs for the side of ETS. Once again, still an even game. But you got to wonder, at some point this Kassadin will get going, and it might be wraps for ETS when that happens. And they do count minions this time. Ult comes out of Braum with a knockup. Yanara goes Transcended. Ult from Nico. She's going to die before she gets to use it. Setsunai grabs the kill on the Starlight Laura. Are they still looking to engage? Braum passive guns down, stuns Lucian. Lucian looking to fight back. Barrier popped by the Yanara. Still has flash. No sums down. Dashes in, looks for the W, but even with her being transcended, nothing really going to happen out of that, as just one kill goes over to Setsunai.
When
And
both
speaking
these
of,
teams are
oh my
playing
Yone under the tower, Bayron solo bolo onto Dory once again. This Yone is getting fed. He's got 4 kills. He's got his boots. It looks like he might be backing, looking for a Bloodthirster. Man, this is not good. Looking good for the side of Mid-Never at Scrims.
Well, and they're using their aggression properly. They're abusing those aggression timers, and punishing any sort of cooldowns that they can at any point. I've seen it Olaf happening to Malphite. I've seen it mid when Cassidy uses his ult. That Yone's taking that advantage where he has 1 or 2 seconds before he can ult again to do some damage.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I mean, you're looking at the CS difference in mid is just growing. It's up to 25 at this point as Caston gets some minions. Of course, it's, it's not 25 anymore. It's 22. But Yone immediately comes back with the 2-level lead, looking for something. Not really going to find much as Braum returns down the bot. It looks like there might be a wraparound happening in the bot lane, but Olaf and Malphite are still just hitting each other over and over again. Oh, Unstoppable comes out from Malphite, knocks up the Olaf. Ignite comes down. CC immune. Apolor with the first solo kill where both of them didn't die. What a play by Apolor. Just knowing his opportunities, knowing when he gets to reach out. But man, this top lane has been very action packed as Lily is looking for a wraparound on bot, while at the same time Caston gets engaged on by Bayron, who's gonna have to back off once Wukong shows up. Looks like both junglers showed up and forced both lanes back. As Dory, this might be a little bit greedy out of you, because Yone is looking for something, but not really gonna find much, man. What do you think about this top lane matchup? Malphite, man, we're not even getting a chance. Yone detaches, hits the knock up onto Wukong, looking for something as Lilia comes up through the mid lane. Wukong dashes in, gets exhausted as TP comes back. The sleep coming down. Yone ult as well. That might just be a dead Wukong coming out of Dennis Rodman. Bayron grabs the kill, and back comes the Caston. TP out, looking for the kill onto Yone. You are 2 levels down. That is a fed Yone who dashes in. He's got Blade of the Ruin King. It's a 1v1. It's a double kill. Bayron grabs his 6th of the game. And man, this E-sub is looking pretty ridiculous for ETS Esports. 6-2-0 on this Yone. But now I want to take the chance to ask you, what do you think about this top lane matchup as first turret goes down in the mid lane?
Oh, dude, I'm over here looking at everything. I'm like, that Yone is just doing his job, keeping that Cassidy down. He's punishing every little mistake. He steps up, he gets punished. He does anything, he gets punished. Top lane right now, I'm surprised Malphite went with Zeke. This is the first time I've ever seen him go with Zeke's first item. And so, speaking of the devil,
It's just
Another
they're trading
fight.
back and forth as Olaf is looking for something. Namarka did not like that solo kill. Here he comes. Malphite forced to flash away. Here comes Lilia down the lane. He's gonna flash. This Olaf wants to flash so bad. He wants to flash and instead of Malphite. Flash comes out of Lilia, looking for the engage. Flash in response from Namarka. Here comes the Wukong. Dennis Rodman is here, but Lilia, Anthony looking to try and get this kill for his top laner, but Malphite might just be dead. Gets smited. Down goes the big rock down to Dennis Rodman. The Monkey King grabs his 3rd kill of the game, and Lilia's still looking for something. He doesn't have any mid support as they're bot side on this dragon, just doing it. Yone and Braum. Okay, cool. We have to see Wukong top, so they just get to take a free Drake. 2nd of the game.
No, that's the other thing I was going to talk about. Olaf is about just hit his level 11 power spike where he just heals so much off of Zados when he ultimates and goes in on people. We also got Wukong who shreds armor. If you didn't know, his W, I believe, gives you armor shred. So it's very effective versus this Malphite, and him following up that Lilia counter ganking was beautiful for the 2nd time.
Oh, knockup comes out of Yone. Bayron looking to make this Wukong miserable. Ults in, gets the knockup, and he has to snap back. That's got to be a feels bad moment for this Yone. Looking to grab his 7th kill of the game after just taking Wukong's Raptors just because he can. Bayron is having himself a game. He is absolutely the shining light for this ETS team, which is hard to say when you've got Setsunai in the bot lane and Anthony in jungle. This Yone is outshining both of them. It's a good game, man. It's a good game for ETS Esports, who now have a 3K gold lead.
Well, and here's the next thing, right? If you're looking right now, that Wukong is warded out. He's spotted everywhere in that red side, jungle bot side.
And it looks like there might be a fight as Lilia got found in their jungle. Kassadin gets put to sleep with the Lilia ultimate. Not gonna really have anything happen out of that, but you know, it's you're right. Look at the vision. The red vision is so all in the jungle. They know where this Wukong is. As Yone's coming up top, Bayron looking to make an impact onto this Olaf. Hits him with the W. Olaf ultimate comes out, almost gets the 1v2, but Bayron scoops him up for that 7th kill. Man, this Olaf from the Marca, they're focusing on shutting him down. He's seen a Yone, he's seen a Lilia, a Braum has even been up there at some point. They're making sure he stays shut down. As the knock comes from Braum, trying to get those passive stacks, the ult comes out of Nico in response and pulling down from the Lucian, just trying to run away. The stun comes in, knock up from Braum, flash away. Lucian, there's a 2v2 coming down. Yanara is transcended, looking for the fight. Setsuna grabs the kill. Kassadin comes in and grabs Braum in response. Flash forward from Setsuna, trying to grab a second. That is a double kill over for Dory on this Kassadin. Forced to use flash, forced to use TP, but man, that's gotta feel good getting a double kill on your Kassadin.
Oh yeah, no, and that's what he needs. He needs any sort of little leads that he can get, so he can get that power spike that he needs.
As we see again, Bayron just going to fall to Dennis Rodman, uses the ult, uses the clone, able to scoop up the shutdown on this guy. As Kassadin's looking for the engage on a Polor, Dory looking for the 1v1. I don't know if you want that, my friend. And all in the meantime, Namarca is just going to be hitting top tower as Lilia is coming to try and shut him down. You see Braum coming up as well. This might not be good for this Olaf, who is just going to run around the corner. Go CC immune to avoid the sleep. Braum comes in. It's a 2v1. I don't know if you guys win that 2v1 as Nico is coming up. Olaf looking for something, looking for this Nico to make a play. Starlight Laura there trying to get a stop on this Lilia, but not going to see anything happen as Malphite was making the rotation.
Ooh, those were some very close fights at the end right there.
Oh, and that's
that's why I stay quiet.
He gets the ult, and down goes Namarca for his 6th death of the game. Apollor was looking, he was searching, and now Nico might be under attack. Starlight Laura gonna blast cone right back into the Malphite. Out comes the ult to double root, but it's just a Lucian there. He's just going to die too. Lilia grabs the kill onto Starlight Laura, and now Lucian is on the run. Braum passive stacking, grabs 2, grabs the 4th hit, and down goes the Lucian. 0-3-1 for Minecraft, not having the most fun game on Lucian. Man, that Braum passive just got stacking and Lilia grabs the double.
Yeah, no, that was devastating for the Lucian. Minecraft is doing good though. He's still good on CS.
Flash ult from Wukong comes out onto Setsunai and just gets absolutely deleted by this Wukong and Kassadin. That's going to be the 5th kill of the game, going over to Mr. Dennis Rodman, who is playing League like his namesake played basketball. Very well, very crazy, very chaotic, but he's getting it all done as Bayron's looking for an invade on this red buff. Gonna go for the knockup, grabs Nico, but there are 4 people here. Can he trade back? Flash comes out of Kassadin. He's gonna just ult away and be perfectly fine because he's Bayron and he's playing Yone.
I was gonna say, that timing on that ult was beautiful. If that Wukong or Nico were a second quicker, they would have been able to stop that ult. And we got Olaf to split pushing. This dragon's about to come up. It looks like blue side is trying to get vision so that way they can just get this dragon. It will be their first if they contest it.
Speaking of contesting, we got Bayron gets rooted looking for the kill onto Nico, but there's a Lucian there who had a couple seconds to free fire, and somehow Yone still did more damage to him than the Lucian did to Yone. But that's going to be the 3rd Drake of the game, going over the direction of ETS, who Mid-Never Scrim's just trying to get anything on this Yone, who's going to snap back, hit the knockup onto Lucian. Barrier comes down. Dennis Rodman grabs his 6th kill of the game, and yet another kill onto this Yone, but Lilia is looking for the sleep. Kassadin dashes away. Oh, Pop Blossom comes down from the Nico. Braum jumping forward, trying to do anything. Get the knockup. Tomato King grabs the kill on the Minecraft. 1-2-3. Kassadin shuts down Lilia, and then it's just a Braum versus the world who picks up a double kill. Tomato King grabs the kill onto Dory, and that's going to be the 7th kill of the game. Oh, going over to Dennis Rodman.
and that's making it 3-4-2, which is what they need. They need any sort of advantage to be able to get caught back up in this game.
Yeah, man, 100%. This Kassadin's got 3 kills now. He's got his tier stacking, and Malignance is up. This is a fast-paced game, just like game 1 was, like I told you. But with everything being said, if you look at the KDs, it's looking like ETS is running this game. It's a 1K lead. That's it. Just a 1K lead. Now, there is 3 Drakes in the favor of ETS Esports, but Drakes can be fought over. You get this Olaf going, you've got a 7-1 Wukong. I mean, they have the tools to be able to turn a fight if you're on the side of mid-never at scrims.
And it looks like the next fight is going to be over here at this Baron. We got Kassadin split pushing. He does have teleport, so he can respond at any moment. We got Malphite staying around topside, seeing... I'm over here thinking what they're thinking, and I'm like, they're trying to get whatever they can vision-wise, but they're just getting dominated by all this vision control everywhere.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, you've got Kassadin in the bot lane just pushing. It looks like they might be wanting to fight this Baron, as TP could be coming in from Kassadin. It looks like Dory's going to hold it, but it could have just been a bait trying to get them to step up. Good call on holding TP by Dory. Just going to keep focusing on getting their farm, trying to get this bot lane tower, trying to get anything to keep their momentum going in the right direction. And funnily enough, for the team named Mid-Never at Scrims, they are putting all their eggs in the basket of Dory and hoping this Kassadin can scale. As the ultimate comes down, he's unstoppable. Olaf in a 4v1. Can he grab the kill onto Lilia? He flashes forward looking for him, but no, Anthony's going to grab the kill. Pop Blossom comes out onto Yone. Down goes the Yone. Bayron taking so much pressure. Dennis Rodman grabs his 8th of the game. This Wukong is doing very well. 8 kills as the TP comes in from Dory to give emotional support for the rest of the team after they just fought.
Well, and they got that bot turret. He teleported, and then now they got mid turret. They're starting to make they're starting to catch up, even though they're at a kill distance. That's and it's funny to me. Yeah, well, that's it.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say. But we also got gold advantage going for mid-never at scrims now.
Yeah, man, and that's a crazy little swing. 2 kills. Who knew? You grab 2 turrets. I mean, I'm a lower division player. I didn't know that if everybody was on one side, you could just go to the other side and go get a tower. Like that's just crazy. Because Malphite Apollo are looking for something on this Kassadin. Not really going to happen. He just dashes away, but down comes Braum. Tomato King looking to follow up on this damage from the Malphite. Not really going to find anything, maybe. Oh, no, Dory reveals themselves. They got them on a... Yeah, that's probably the best decision that they could have made. The flash out into the dash. But yeah, that's great cross-mapping, great macro coming out of Mid-Never at scrims.
Well, that's the one thing that a lot of people forget is this is not just, hey, let's fight. You can make macro plays like this across the map, and you can win off of those macro plays. Now, it looks like they're getting everything ready so that they can go for this Baron while everybody is collapsing on this Yone. But as of right now, they don't have very much info on this.
That is a dead Bayron who uses ult, uses flash, just gets caught. And that is going to be the kill going over to Olaf. Namarka picking that up. Still no kills on this Lucian yet, but we'll get there eventually. We believe in Minecraft 123, but posturing around this Drake that's coming up in about 30 seconds. This is the soul for ETS Esports. And without your Yone, you got to think that you might just give this and look over towards that Baron, as you were saying, which it looks like that's the plan. They are completely conceding control. Kassadin dashes in. Dory just looking to do a little bit of poke damage, but that is a Malphite. And it looks like this could end up just being a trade. However, Namarka has something to say about that. Might be looking to go contest. I think it could be a bait towards the Baron trying to get a kill. Now they're pinging it. Looks like this might be a Baron for Soul Point trade. But Olaf and Lucian are, or that's Olaf and Nico. Olaf and Nico are on the way over there. Starlight, Laura, and Namarka looking to get them off of this. But I don't know if they really can. Here comes Kassadin. And your Yone is back up. This might be just a bait play that ETS will back off of. Down about 900 to 1900 health. They're still on it, still going. Yeah, yeah, they're just kind of posturing. But they're gonna drop it. They're gonna let it reset. And I think that might be the end of it. I don't know if you should be backing there, DeMarco. Remember what happened last time you backed in front of the Malphite? And yeah, yeah, looks
I
like
was
the
about
team's
to
just gonna
say.
back off. Oh.
And it looks like they're going straight back for you.
Yep, picking it right back up. They saw one person back. Olaf is gone. He's running towards bot lane. It appears that Mid Never at Scrims has conceded this, but Kassadin has something to say about that. Dory is looking, so is Starlight Laura, but I don't know. Oh, Olaf TP's back in, and there's a fight brewing. Malphite looking for the Kassadin. Pop Blossom, pop, grabs one. Lilia gets knocked out. That might just be a dead Braum. Pops the shield. Still survives. DeMarco grabs Tomato King, and the fight is on. We got a double knockout. Triple knockout. Yone going crazy. Lucian grabs his first kill of the game. And right now it's a 3 for 2, but they are still going. Yanara got going. Setsunai grabs himself a triple kill, and that is just going to be a one fight for the side of ETS Esports. It looked hopeful for 1 second with the Pop Blossom grabbing onto the Lilia with the Olaf coming in, but Mid Never at Scrims just can't seem to put together that team fight.
Well, what ended up happening was that Braum ended up blocking a lot of that damage up front. So a lot of their damage got negated by that Braum. It was a very wonderful play by that Braum, taking all that damage, being able to do that. And they won't be able to end off of this push, but they will be able to get inhibs at least, or open up the inhib turrets.
Yeah, 100%. And with the Baron empowered minions, looks like they were trying to get 2 turrets. They might end up getting none instead. The respawn timer is just a little bit too short at this point. But I also want to just highlight that Braum stayed on 1 health for probably half the team fight, hits his ult, hits the knock up, and then Malphite just comes right back in following up with the double knock. And I mean, the ADC Setsunai didn't get touched at that team fight. He didn't get touched at all. And that's kind of what we were talking about beforehand. Who's going to be able to protect their ADC? I know that the Lucian is behind. He's not, in the spot where he's going to be able to do a ton of damage, but they couldn't get to Setsunai, and that ended up being their death sentence during that fight.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. They were doing whatever they could to output that damage. And that Wukong, if you would have held back a little bit or came in through the back wall right there, he would have probably been able to do a lot more. It's just that Braum taking up all that damage up front hooked them.
Yeah, 100%. And if you're on the side of Mid Never at Scrims, in your eyes, what are you looking at? What's your goal here? What are you thinking to try and get yourself back in the driver's seat of this game? I mean, it's 3 Drakes to 1. You just lost Baron. Your inhib turrets are pretty low, so you're in danger if you get wiped of losing an inhib or even the game. Well, what are you kind of looking at from their side?
Well, from their side, what I would be looking for is we have 2 very good split pushing champions. We got the Kassadin and we got the Olaf. If Kassadin is able to...
as Olaf flashes in, wait a second, I'm going to have to hold you there. Flash ults exchange from each of the top laners. I think you feel better about that if you're the Olaf, but that leaves them a lot. They're gonna have to fight through a lot to try and get on this backline. As Yone, Bayron just constantly being a nuisance on this Yone, looking to grab some plates, potentially the tower, but Kassadin there to stop. Goes detached. I don't know about. No, they didn't follow up on it. The exhaust comes down onto the Kassadin. Culling comes down. Ult in response. Good flash out of Minecraft, but Bayron is going to go down to Dory. However, on the other side, ETS 4-man in mid with the 4-1 split. They got the Yone, but they lose an inhib in mid, and now ETS is just looking to disengage. As looks like they're happy to let them leave. Mid Never at Scrims. Lilia still looking to do some more damage, but not much really going to be happening as of right now.
I agree. And another thing that I will say is there is nothing better than watching 2 teams go head to head like this, where they are constantly fighting. And right now we're looking at this dragon. They do have 5 up. That Yone is still down for this dragon. If they're able to hold it out while they wait for that Yone to come, they should be doing good. But
yeah, looks like
we'll see right now.
Yeah, looks like there might be a fight brewing. Yone did just come back up. He doesn't have TP, so he's just going to have to leg it all the way there. But you've got minions pushing down your Nexus turrets. So it looks like that is just going to be the Ocean Drake going over to the side of ETS Esports. And when you're looking at ETS and their comp and getting this Ocean Soul, what are you looking at the benefits, of getting that Ocean Soul? What's that going to change here?
Oh, that is gonna be a game changer because you got to realize you got a beefy front line. We're playing a lot of these fights front to back, and that sustain that you get if they poke you out, you can just step back, get your health back, get your mana back, and go right back into the fight.
Yeah, 100%. And I think if you're on the side of Mid-Never Scrims, once again, you need your Kassadin to stack this Mana Moon. You need your Lucian to be able to output some kind of damage before it goes down. But the main problem is, at this point, the Yanara, she's scaled. This Malphite's tanky. Like you said, beefy targets up front for this Lucian to try and get through. He's got LDR, but it's a Malphite, man. He's going to take a while to die. He's got 3 items plus plated steel caps, and I don't know if the Olaf can get onto the Yanara. I think there's a chance for Mid-Never at Scrims to do something. Baron's coming up in 30 seconds, but there is a fight in the bot lane. I don't think Namarka wants any more of that smoke, Mr. Bayron. I think you are good. There's a chase. Malphite ult comes down, but that does not look like a Lucian to me. Is running right on away.
Nico. That was
Yeah.
Nico.
So Malphite ult baited out right before this Baron spawns in about 8 seconds. If you're Mid-Never at Scrims, are you looking at trying to fight this? It looks like ETS is just gonna keep pushing it.
Well, in this point, you either commit to the Baron or you commit to killing that Yone. And
Speaking of committing, the double knockup comes out of Wukong into the Pop Blossom. There's just no damage. All the CC, Braum knockup, Setsuna on a rampage, grabs a double kill onto the Wukong. There is just no damage to follow up. Lilia grabs the Nico, and that's a triple kill for Setsuna, and that might spell the end of the season for Mid-Never at Scrims. It was a great engage, but they just has no damage as Dory leaves the game, heads right on out. And that is a end of the game, end of the season for Mid-Never at Scrims, who at this point never really felt like they had any control in this game.
well, like I said, they had that front line, and it's just they had to play it properly. If this Wukong ended up rotating bot lane a little bit more and going through bushes and ganking that lane, I think he would have had a lot more luck instead of just trying to contest everything from Lilia, right? You want to get this Lucian ahead to be able to output the damage that you need to be able to get ahead and win all these fights. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, 1000%. And as it comes down to it, ETS, they get the clean 2-0 over Mid-Never at Scrims. Now they're going to move on to the next round of the bracket to face up against Genimod. I honestly think that'll be a pretty good game. Genimod had a good showing against Bogdogs despite getting 2-0'd. So I think it'll be fun to watch. I wonder how they're going to play when they have their normal mid laner in instead of an E-sub, though, because Bayron had a big impact on that game, on that Yone. Even in game 1 on the Zed, 16 and I think it was 8 or something like that on the Zed. So I'm looking forward to moving through, and if you are looking forward to keeping up with us, I mean, the archives lol.com if you want to look online, or just go join our community Discord and you can take a look into the rest of these upper bracket playoffs. Now, I have a question for you, Pino.
what's up?
Tomorrow night is the lower division grand finals. You've got Control Alt Defeat versus Top Esports. I want to hear right now, who's your prediction for that game?
All right. Hold up. I gotta do a little bit of research very quickly.
Okay.
I don't know anything about the matches upper or lower or anywhere, but Control Alt Defeat and Topside Gaming, right?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you this right now. Control Alt Defeat hasn't dropped a single game all season. Not a single game.
Not a single game.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's tough because I'm looking at this and I'm just like, I'm looking at their op.ggs, seeing which one looks better, and I'm just like, they both have potential, right?
Right.
But it's gonna come down to number one, what they decide to play and prioritize, right? If they get that Smolder is so broken right now. Any team that plays Smolder, that one game is a definite win, right?
Hmm.
And it looks like the Control Alt Defeat or control alt, defeat, does play Smolder. So it is one of those champions that he does play. Now, they also play Aurelion Sol, which is really, really good for scaling. We got Xerath. We got, mid lane looks great. ADC looks great. They have a lot of great picks. Top lane is the only one that I don't see much information about. But their jungler looks good. Their subs also look good. I mean, overall, it looks like they have a pretty stacked team. Now, looking at the other team, Topside Gaming looks like they have very good ADCs. They got good top laners. They got good mid laners. They even got good supports. So it's all really going to come down to what gets banned, what they prioritize, and if one team is able to predict the other team's draft and play, and they're able to play into those drafts properly, right?
Yeah.
Because here in the lower division, you're gonna be hearing a lot of let's play traditional drafts, front to back drafts, pick comps, things like that. And depending on what they pick, will depend on how the game outcome comes about.
All right. So with all that being said, what's your pick?
In all honesty, I'm going for. They're both good. I'll go for Control Alt Defeat. I'm sorry.
All right. Pino has his pick in Control Alt Defeat. If you want to see what the result of that match is going to be tomorrow night, 8:30 Eastern time, it will be streamed and it'll be a good game. So go ahead and tune in and we will catch you guys later.